Shea Cooper is over the ball, looking around, waiting for someone to start the game. Where is the referee? Oh, he's off on the left. He's having a wander, checking that everybody's where they need to be. There are assistants each side, and from all the big build-up, there is a sudden hush over the ground quite weirdly. It's suddenly a snooker competition. There is the starting whistle, and Shea Cooper kicks it straight back to George Langston, who thumps it upfield and out of touch on the left-hand side. A good old-fashioned territory start to the game. Braintree are going to be kicking from right to left as we look towards the home end, which is a low stand. The huge modern end of the ground is away to our right end. It's a stand that would look very useful at anywhere up to championship level. The rest of the ground, though, is very much a non-league ground, and opposite where the Braintree fans are, it's an open terrace with industrial units and corrugated iron just behind them. The ball out of play for a series of throw-ins on this near side. Is that actually played for, Jamal? Just kick it up for an out of touch to start with.
Yeah, we're trying to gain some yards. Don't give away anything cheap to start off the game. And to be fair, even the Prem boys do it. I'll see Man City do it the other week. So
absolutely.
We have to do it.
Teams have been doing it for years. Dan Moss, the right back for Woking, throws it into play, and there's the first little sortie up the right wing for the Woking players. Innie F. Young's got his hands in his air looking for another throw in there. He's going to get it as well. And Jamie Andrews will step up, a West Brom youth product. Good links with West Brom here, of course, from that FA Cup win many, many years ago. And Jeff Chappell was actually here last night, and they had celebrating the anniversary of that win. And I can tell you there are one or two hangovers around Woking this morning. They had a good night. The throw-in's going to come in. It's going to be a long one. It's
anytime you see the towel, it's going to be a long throw, isn't it?
Jamie Andrews, he's 3 or 4 steps back, drying the ball in his hands. There's nowhere anywhere near. He's going to launch this to the near side of the 6-yard box. He's got the distance. First header away from John Akinde, who's back to help out defending. With him back, it means there's no one to actually release the ball up to and clear away. Tariq Hines sort of passes it back in, misses everybody, and goes through out of touch for a goal kick. Just bobbles away for a goal kick, and that'll be useful for Lennon McClure. That weird thing that the keeper just needs to get his hands on it.
Yeah, sometimes a young goalkeeper just to get his confidence, get his hands on the ball nice and early. But a long throw from Andrews there, causing problems nice and early for Woking. Exactly what they wanted to do. And Akinola probably not getting the priority he wants in that shot and just dragging it a little bit wide.
Notice he's another southpaw is this goalkeeper. A left foot goal kick clearance drops over the halfway line, but Woking are going to pick this up, and again they're going to look down their right hand side. Dan Moss trying to use Sam Ashford, who's up the line along ahead of him, or Jamie Andrews rather. Two of them try and combine. They don't get hold of it. It's cleared by Braintree down the left side, and they've got to throw in now. The ball in this early first couple of minutes has probably spent as much time off the field on this near side of the pitch as it has on it. Ryan Clampin, whose beard's he's looking like a 20-year-old's beard now rather than a teenager's beard, isn't it? He's working on it. With the throw-in short, there's a clatter with a Woking player down, Jamie Andrews. He's looking at the referee for something, doesn't get it. Behind it, Marley Marshall-Miranda says that's enough of that. Hikes one up towards the edge of the Woking area, and Tyreek Hines, the left-back, is there to hook it down the left wing for Woking. But straight back into Braintree possession. Little 1-2 between Tyrese and Louis Annesley. The two of them, the ball's just not coming down, and no one's quite settled on it. It's everyone just stretching a toe to try and get on with it. No one quite getting a foot on it and getting possession yet.
Yeah, first 5 minutes we always say turn the other team around, try and gain some yardage in their half and keep them penned in. And neither team settled down yet and put their foot on the ball. But that's what you probably expect in the first 5 minutes of a National League game.
Will Jääskeläinen is going to take this free kick from quite a long way out of the area. He's got a bright green outfit with a gold sort of Ziggy Stardust type stripe along the front. Hits it long, little knockdown from Innie F. Young along the edge of the D at the Braintree end of the ground, but there's no one in on the end of that, and Ryan Clampin sees open space ahead of him, goes flying away down the pitch, gets it past Jamie Andrews, but has overstretched it a little bit. Dan Moss was waiting just beyond and plays it back down to Sam Ashford on the right hand side. F. Young on his outside on the overlap is just offside, and Woking turning it very quickly, and everything operating down this right side for them to start with.
Yeah, it looks like Ryan Clampin on one of his trademark marauding runs down this left hand side. Dan Moss stopped in quite well, and on that transition he left a little bit of a gap that Woking looked to capitalise on. Ashford there picking up a lovely little pocket with a reverse ball into the F Young on the right hand side, but unfortunately for him he was offside.
One of those brilliant marauding fullback runs, but if you're the left side defensive midfielder, you're thinking, oh heck, that's a gap that I now need to fill.
Exactly that.
Louis Annesley in that central double midfielder position at the moment. They're both watching a free kick from the offside go up this left side for yet another throw-in, but this is for Braintree, and for the first time it's up the Woking end of the ground. We're roughly level with the edge of the penalty area in bright sunshine, which I've not been used to at all this in recent, up until the last couple of weeks or so. It's sort of partly in the Woking goalkeeper's eyes at the moment, but coming around behind us, so probably not too much of a problem. George Langston is gone all the way up the left hand side of the pitch to take a throw in. Now he's the centre back with a long throw in for Braintree Town. That means that John Akinde and Louis Annesley at the near side of the 6-yard box are underneath it. Oh, that is a long one. It's gone over both of them. That actually, I think, helps the keeper, Will Jaskalainen, who was able to lean across and punch it out, but only back into the midfield area for Pennington to try and get past his man, and he's missed it. The break is on here if Sam Ashford can get away from Woking. Finally, the Braintree defence managed to get back, head him off and push him into touch. He has won a throw-in the Braintree half, but that was, I think, Pennington trying to take on his man, having not looked at what was behind him.
Yeah, Pennington there, instead of letting it go out for a throw-in, he tried to go past his man on the right hand side and just get caught on it by Ashford there. He's a type of striker you don't want to give a second chance to because he doesn't stop running, so Pennington will learn from that early stages. Probably should have just put that into the box as well.
I guess it's the risk that you're that far up off the pitch that if it doesn't come off, that you think someone's going to come across and cover, and they did.
You hope so, yeah.
There's another throw-in still on this near side. I don't think there's been a throw-in on the far side as yet. Every single one of these has been on the near side as we watch it. So Woking in their red and white halved shirts, kicking from left to right, now with a throw-in to attack the goal to our right in the shadow of the big modern stand with a single girder, like a mini Anfield main stand behind that goal. It's going to be another long throw in from Jamie Andrews, the West Brom product. It's got a good loop on that. It's got some length on it. Langston and Akinde both get up underneath it to get a header, to get heads underneath it, but can only direct it out of play for a corner. So first corner of the game to Woking, but that was safety first and taken short very quickly. It's going to come in from a near angle and that's deflected, and just as I get excited, it's gone out of play for a second corner in quick succession.
Yeah, quick corner taken by Woking there. Andrews rolling the ball to Harry Buteman, who actually played with that Welling a couple of years ago before he got his move to Peterborough, but fortunately enough for Braintree, they was alive and managed to block it, and it's gone out for another corner now.
Harry Buteman, I think, is going to be the usual set piece man for them. He stands that one up beyond the far post. The keeper decides to come, commits, gets a little touch at the end of his finger, goes down as he does, and that was enough just to take it beyond the heads of both defenders and strikers away. And with a little bit of messing about at right back position, possible chance for Braintree to break. Oh, it's put through, and the chase is on. It's defender versus attacker. It's Tyrese. Tyrese getting towards the corner flag. He's been pulled all over the place, but the referee is letting that continue. The clearance is only as far as Ryan Clampin, who goes down as he's shoved. I think he sort of maybe played for that a little bit. Yeah, you're nodding, Jamal.
He definitely did, and Pennington done really well there defensively, played a lovely ball into space for Cairo Lisby, who was against Odesina there, and he's just taken a bit of pace out of him. He's managed to get there, done well to not foul on the edge of the box, because he would have been last man, which would have resulted in a red card, but he did well there and clamped in the right place at the right time.
Thank you. I'm allowed to get Kyrell and Kyrese
of course
mixed up
I get him, and I know him personally.
Shay Cooper then with a free kick. It's the first free kick which is in range of the Woking area. He'll be able to in-swing this one. There's a big gap between the keeper and both sets of players on the D, who will run into that gap as the ball is curled into the far post. A header back from Langston, reaches to eventually with a couple of rebounds, goes out of play for a goal kick, or a corner even. So first decision was goal kick. The assistant, I think, possibly overruled. It's going to be a corner, but in the middle of that, Louis Annesley is berating the referee. What has he seen?
Well, it's a beautiful ball into the back stick there by Shay Cooper, and George Langston heads the ball back across just to keep it alive, and I think Aidan Francis Clark was being pulled and harried, and I think that's what they're complaining about. A little bit too physical in the box there, and they're asking the referee for a penalty there.
So it will be Shay Cooper with an outswinger. It's towards the D. Oh, it's got a little knock on from the defence, so it's going to come over the way to this near side, the left side, and this time it is Kyrese No, isn't it? No, it's Kyrese to Kyrell. Little back pass from Kyrese to Kyrell into the centre to Louis Annesley, who couldn't quite get a shot away. Defence going to toe it above. Possible break on here for Asude if he can get past 3 defenders back. Pushes Marley Marshall Miranda out the way as he does so. And Miranda goes down, gets the free kick. Everything comes to a halt. And I'm quite glad that Braintree didn't score there, because it was Kyrese.
It was a beautiful little bit of play, and we spoke, Peter, about the telepathic level that those two were on. It seemed like they was on it perfectly there. A little 1-2 beautifully, just wasn't able to cut it back perfectly for Louis Annesley, who's playing in midfield today, and they nearly broke away with Asude. Apparently he's really, really quick. He's a bit of a sprinter speed there.
Long free kick from Braintree comes into the middle of the Woking area, and there is decision now goes for the Woking defence, and given their chagrin at the last decision, there's an ironic sort of round of applause for the referee on this one. But I felt in the first 2 or 3 minutes here, it's 0-0 between Braintree and Woking. The first 2 or 3 minutes it felt like Woking looking the livelier down their right hand side, and maybe Braintree were going to have to sit back and just soak up a bit of pressure, but actually they've managed to even it out quite quickly.
Yeah, Braintree have found their way into the game, getting their best players, Kyrese and Kyrell, on the ball and causing havoc.
Good news from the early kick-off, by the way, for Braintree in the conference. You call it the conference too as well, Jamal. The National League.
I've played in every single name they've had it under, Peter.
Solihull Moors, their tailspin continues at the moment. They're 1-0 down to Forest Green Rovers. As it stands, they are above Braintree in the table, but only on goal difference. As Woking attack is cleared away, they're going to have a throw-in of Woking from the left-hand side. Tyreek Hines is waiting for the ball back from the Braintree fans, all of whom are just watching the ball bobble along in front of them, and none of them are helping whatsoever. That's not on. Eventually a young little lad cannot get past the temptation to go down, pick up the ball and kick it back onto the pitch. That's the highlight of his day. So Tyreek Hines, you played with him not just at Braintree possibly, or?
No, just at Braintree. He came earlier in the season, and he's a good player. I just think for us we had so many players in that position, but he's done well to come here, and I heard he's playing really, really well.
Yeah, ambitious player. One of those players, he started off at the Tottenham Academy, and you expect to get on and do well. Got to Tunbridge Angels, pretty good side in itself, but wasn't getting a full-time contract there, so is looking around for one, and has found a little bit more work here at Woking. And it comes for Woking down the left-hand side. It is, in fact, Hines on the ball. He's up against 2, trying to get into the area. Has to turn and push back. He's got Josh Asude out with him. Asude with a little testing cross in towards the D. Louis Annesley pushes a couple of players out of the way. Makes a little bit of a muck-up of his right-footed clearance away, but with a little bit of help from Kyrell Lisby. Does get it away. Lisby on the 1-2 goes flying away down his left wing and is caught. I think he was actually proper caught there on the halfway line. Goes down and has a few little rolls. It's Tunji Akinola, the holding midfielder, who I think took one for the team there, and possibly is if a yellow were to come out, won't be complaining.
No, he's got a yellow already. The referee's brandished that card, and it was a reckless challenge with Braintree on the break there. Kyrell trying to push that ball down the wing after some good hold-up play by Shea Cooper there. Bit of a cynical challenge there from Akinola, but that's what he's in there for, a robust number 4, just to hold and look after their back 4.
And one of those that I'm aware that when you do that, you take one for the team, you've taken the player down. Quite often you see a minute or so later there's a little slap of the hands of we all know what we're doing, we didn't mean to help you, and everything's fine. There's an impromptu drinks break here, so 0-0. Not too much in the game so far for either goalkeeper to do. 13 minutes or so gone. 0-0 will suit Braintree a little bit more than Woking if it were to just be a run out like that. I've just noticed the scoreboard opposite as well, amongst all the industrial units there. I have got everything right. It's 13 minutes gone and it's 0-0. And we're waiting for the free kick. We can't see it because it's in front of the dugouts in front of us. Shea Cooper is going to hit that high towards the edge of the Woking area. There are 2 or 3 defenders underneath who managed to jump up and just hook that back out towards the centre circle. Potential chance to break here through the centre of the field. Jamie Andrews slides it through the right to Josh Asude out on the right hand side. He's got to the line, but going all the way back with him is Aidan Francis Clark, who very, very coolly just holds him off until he runs out of road.
Yeah, definitely a little bit of sloppy play there in the midfield from Braintree Town, losing possession, and Harry Buteman's played a lovely ball into the path for Sude, who's covered some great ground there, but Aidan in the right place at the right time, like it has been so much since he's slotted in at centre half, and that's the reason why Luenzi is at centre midfield today, because Aidan's done so well as a centre half since he's got in there.
He's been to the hairdressers, he's got Brett very tight to his head, possibly up the speed a little bit. That should have been a last ditch desperation tackle. He just made it look so cool. Just lean into him. The end of the pitch is there. It'll all be fine. The clearances hit up the left hand side, and a chance for Kyrell Lisby to just take it towards the corner flag. He's holding off the defender, looking and waiting for a little bit of help from brother Kai Reese. The two of them combine, and quite cleverly, as Kai Reese comes in on the outside, I think he drew the eye of the defender, at which point Kyrell just pulled it off the defender's shins and wins another corner for Braintree from this near side this time.
Yeah, great front play there by Kyrell. He's a young player learning each and more every time he steps on the pitch, and that's when you're in those positions there by the corner flag, you have to get something for your team, and he's done ever so well to get a corner there after a good ball by Aidan Francis Clark.
Shea Cooper carefully placing the ball down just in front of us. Jermaine Francis warming up. In comes the corner. That's more of a floating corner. Comes all the way out to Jacob Piddington, who I think tried to do a side foot, just put it up back into the mixer, and it just caught in the air and went slightly wide and long and has gone out for a goal kick. Yeah. But certainly an area of territory, it feels very even here.
It definitely does, and it's a good corner there by Shea, put into a beautiful area, and trying to put it ball back into the danger zone. He just overcooked it. Right idea, just the wrong technique on the edge of the box.
Anyone from the 80s is trying not to sing Danger Zone now that you've said that. Elsewhere, the scores are starting to come in. We have Rochdale 1, Aldershot 0. That is also good news for Braintree in the table. It's also Barnet 1, Gateshead 0. We're not so fussed about that because they're at the top. But in the middle area with Aldershot trailing, they are just 1 point ahead of Braintree. So with Aldershot trailing and Solihull Moors trailing, if both of those lose and Braintree were to win today, then that's at least 2 positions up in the table that they could go. That would be rather nice.
Well, with the right result here for Braintree, we're going to start looking up at the other table. You know, Steve's a little bit tongue-in-cheek maybe mentioned that if we came in a little bit earlier, it would have been the playoff spots, because seeing as we've done so well. But it just goes to show what he's done since he's walked in the building with Carl and
after the York result, everyone was so happy with the York result. When I mentioned it to him that it was the same. Long ball through, chases on for Lisby. Keeper's come a long way out. Has to go high with a real Tiller girl kick right up vertically into the air, but did well to come out very quickly with Kyrell Lisby coming in on him, and the ball's back into the midfield. Hit down the right hand side for Braintree now, where Kyrese Lisby tries to get round the back of the defender, runs out of track, and so that'll be a goal kick. But a very quick through ball, and the speed of the Lisbys is something that the Woking defence are having to really keep an eye on.
Speed is a gift for these two boys. They really use it. Sometimes you've got players that don't really use their skill set, but John Akinde there with a bouncing ball just puts a simple ball over the top for him to chase, and Jaskalana had to come out there, and if he hadn't, he would have been 1-1 with Lisby.
Yeah, after the York game, I mentioned to Steve Pitt that it's the same distance from the playoffs, and he just gave me that, don't be stupid look. But I think he's actually looked at it. with after this 6 more games, it's a tall order, isn't it? But it's still mathematically there.
Definitely, it is. If they get the right results, keep playing the way they have, there should be no problems.
Woking coming forward down the left-hand side. Little 1-2 in the F. Young is out on that left-hand side as part of the little exchanges between players to Asude in the centre of the field, and eventually the ball drops out for a throw-in for Woking, again on their right-hand side. So by the looks of it, Jamie Andrews is their primary weapon from throw-ins. He does get some length on it, doesn't he?
He does. I think him and George are having a throw-off at the moment, so you can throw the ball furthest and deepest into the box.
I think that was the longest George has done. He normally hits a head at the near side of the 6-yard box, but managed to get over everybody's heads, and actually I think made it easier for the keeper to punch away about 5 minutes or so ago. In comes the throw-in then, right-hand side from Jamie Andrews in towards the penalty area. It's got a header in. Has that got a little deflection off a Braintree player? It has. It's a corner now for Woking from the right hand side. 19 minutes gone, 0-0 here between Braintree and Woking on BBC Essex, and Harry Beautyman across for Woking to take the corner from the right hand side, and they're starting just to get a little bit of momentum together at Woking here. Again, most of it coming down their right hand side. This is going to be an outswinger by the looks of it. It's high and long to the far post. Players jumping from both sides, but it's Braintree that get underneath it. Lisby doesn't quite get a good connection to get the clearance away. It's up in the air above the Woking penalty, or the Braintree penalty area. As it comes down, it comes off who? It comes off Ini Effiong for a goal kick, but there are about 200 Woking fans behind there who disagree.
It seems as though it definitely came off a Braintree Town player, judging by the reaction of the Woking faithful, hearing that beautiful stand behind the goal. It seems as though they got away with one there.
I think so. Keeper Lennon McClurg is just looking. He's got George Langston back with him. I think it's one of those discussions when you're new in a team, you look to your captain and say, right, what do we do in this situation?
I'm not sure we practiced goal kicks yesterday, but sometimes you just want to let the goalkeeper feel his way in. Nothing too short, too early.
And I'm pretty sure that George's response there was, whatever you want. So he said, right, go the other side, go from the left-hand side because he can curl it. So a few little bit of headed tennis towards the edge of the area to Shea Cooper, who turns quite amazingly, Van Basten-like, but it was over the top of the stand.
Yeah, that is all from Johnny Kinde challenging from a goal kick. Shea does have the type of technique to hit a ball on the volley as it's bouncing up and put it in the back of the net. Unfortunately for that one there, it went high and wide and over the stand, but Kyra Lisby and Kyrie's making a nuisance of themselves. That's something they don't do in the air, so it's good to see.
Shea Cooper, of course, if you're a Southend or Colchester United fan, he's played at both. He began his career at Southend United, Colchester more recently in his life. His signature is coming in from the left-hand side, and it's that right-footed low shot across the keeper that he can absolutely whip those ones away.
He really can. A tidy footballer, a great technician. Learned his trade at Tottenham with Tyreek, actually, so they're out there together today. And
he and Marley Marshall Miranda and Matt Robinson, there's a good spirited lairiness, I'm going to say, in that midfield.
Yeah, they got a bit of everything. They got a bit of flair, a bit of bite, and a little bit of experience, and that's what you need in the midfield.
Still no real massive attempts on goal in this so far. It's been quiet. It's 0-0 with 21 minutes gone on BBC Essex. Will Jääskeläinen hits one high up in the air. That's more of a vertical kick than a long kick. It drops on the halfway line. Marley Marshall Miranda heads that back downfield, and it's going to be a throw-in for Woking on their left-hand side. The sky above is still very blue. I think it's going to mist over a bit as we get towards the final stages of this. It's a much warmer temperature than most of the games that we've seen. Looking at the pitch, that's in a dry condition. They've let their grass grow a little bit longer than most, but most of the pitches have been looking good. Fylde and Altrincham, I think, were the two aside. Braintree's is looking reasonably bald, but it's still. I've seen him. He looks like he's feeding the birds.
Why did you look at me when you said bald there, Peter?
When the groundsman he throws out the grass seeds. No, just get a little bit more onto this sort of thing. But it is nice and flat and very, very playable, that pitch. We've got a free kick in the centre of the field here for Woking. They've pushed the big guys up from the back. As a ploy, it's hit towards the left-hand side. Keeper has to come out and take out the player. It's a penalty for Woking. And everybody caught with the big central defenders coming up from the halfway line to the edge of the area. Everyone expected that to be an over-the-top ball. Instead, it was slid down the left-hand side. Keeper saw it very, very quickly, did Lennon McClurg. He came out, he did what he needed to, but was a millisecond too late. The player was there first, and there's no real argument to that. I feel really sorry for Lennon McClurg.
Yeah, not the kind of debut that you want, giving away a penalty in the opening 23 minutes, but a great bit of invention there from Harry Buterman, taking a quick free kick and sliding it down the side in between the wall and the back line of Braintree, and the referee seemed fit to give a penalty there.
And it is Buterman who will take the penalty, hands on hips. Lennon McClurg bounces around as much movement as he can, trying to put off Buterman, who waits. He's not going to blink first. He still waits. More patience. Finally the wiggle, the step up, right-footed along the ground. Keeper goes the right way, but not quite quick enough. And Woking take the lead. It's Woking 1, Braintree Town 0.
Yeah, great penalty from Harry Buterman. Low and hard into the bottom right-hand corner, away from McClurg there. He wasn't able to react fast enough and tip it around the post. Just the start, just the opening 20 that Woking would have wanted. It's unfortunate for Braintree. We've probably been the better team in the last 5 minutes, but if you go to sleep around set pieces. That's what happens.
Yep, and I'm going to say fair dues to Lennon McClurg. He was the only one who was able to move quick enough to try and do something about that. The whole team was absolutely caught because it was a really, really well worked free kick. He had to come out, he had to go in at ground level and stick a palm out and hope it was a 50-50. To be fair, nice bit of play from Woking. They drew the foul and got their penalty.
Yeah, and it's a tough one. No VAR in the National League, so we'll never know how close he was to it, but it did look like he got a touch to it, and the way the direction of the ball that went in is the way his body went, but unfortunately the referee hasn't seen it that way.
We will see after the game whether there was a touch or not. It doesn't matter. They worked it and they got it. And Harry Beautyman's penalty, to be honest, it wasn't the most powerful penalty. It was a sort of a side footer along the ground, but it was a practiced penalty, one of those that he knows exactly inch perfect where he's going to get it, even if the goalkeeper goes the right way. It didn't need to be blasted.
No, I've seen Harry do that time and time again in training in games when he was at Welling. No surprise there. He's made a career off being reliable in those situations.
Yeah, you mentioned Welling, the keeper on loan from Charlton. There is quite a South London feel here, as you might expect in the home counties. Similar to Braintree, you get lots of players coming out from East London. A couple of Millwall players here. China Coley is on loan from Millwall, as is Shamar Lawson on the bench. You've also got Dan Moss, the right back, who came over from Millwall in 2022. The manager Neil Ardley and the assistant Simon Bassey are both ex-Wimbledon. Neil Ardley was one of those Premiership players for Wimbledon for many years, and that's the area where they've got their contacts, and they've been using them to try and get Woking back up and running in the second half of this season. And Woking 1-0 up here, and coming forward down the right-hand side, Harry Beautyman, the goal scorer. He's got two on the right-hand side with him. One of them is Sam Ashford, one of the Essex contingent here at Woking, and a little triangle of play which is just out of view of us behind the goal, the dugouts. It looks to me that it has wound up as a throw-in, which I'm sure Jamie Andrews, the long throw taker, will again fool us and take that short, and gets a 1-2 to the edge of the Braintree penalty area, right hand side. Oh, that's a teasing up and under. He just hung it in the air above the 6-yard box. It drops down vertically into the arms of Lennon McClurg, but there was enough time for a couple of strikers just to come forward and just give him a little bit of a nudge on the way there, but Lennon McClurg standing up to the big Ini Effiong alongside him. Long clearance in fact from McClurg. Kyrell Lisby tries to pick it up. He's pushed off it by Tyreek Hines, who's had to come a long way over from left to right. It was lost out. John Akinde, Hines is still in there. Oh, Hines has got the tap away to Ashford. Ashford with a long ball forward. Effiong starts to jog, but he knows what's going to happen if he keeps jogging there. The offside flag will go up, and instead he lets it go out for a Braintree throw-in, but in a defensive position, so still Woking keeping a bit of a press on. Their back line are up on the halfway line. Goals elsewhere, it's Boston 1, Sutton 0. Boston's amazing run continues. Ebbsfleet 0, Altrincham 1. That's Ebbsfleet's appalling run continues. Here it's Woking 1, Braintree 0. And we're just coming up towards the half-hour mark. The ball hit forward by a Coley with a little bit of knock-on. Ashford's on the chase onto the edge of the area. But again, it's Aidan Francis Clark for Braintree Town, who just stands next to the striker and says, "You're not getting past me," and just manhandles him, shoves him coolly out of play until he runs out of pitch, and it's a goal kick. And yet again, Aidan Francis Clark, he doesn't look like one of those huge, big central defenders who's massive and a big powerhouse, but I'm yet to see anyone physically overpower him.
No one has so far, and they call him Virgil in the changing room because what he does do is just defend like his life depends
Van Dijk, not Tracy.
Yeah.
Throw in on the left hand side for Braintree. Ryan Clampin in front of the dugouts. Carl Duguid doing his he does like a perch to half lean against. Yeah, do feed that back. If someone get a bollard or something that he can just half lean against, it's his perfect coaching position. The throw-in comes down the left-hand side where John Akinde is up against Dan Moss, who falls over. And your opinion on those ones? Quite often, Ini Effiong has this issue as well. You're a big old-fashioned number 9, and when you go up against players, especially fullbacks, they fall over because your shoulder is at sort of their head height. It looks like you've bumped them off the ball, but
it does.
Actually,
it does, and this is where you get a little bit frustrated with referees because you can blatantly see that they're trying to buy it. And interestingly, the PFA have started an initiative where ex-players have now become a referee, so that might actually help some of the decisions.
The free kick is taken low and long down the Woking right and goes out of touch for another throw in, the umpteenth of this first half, on the Braintree left, just short of the corner flag. Ryan Clampin is looking for movement around him. John Akinde is shaping up and saying, down the line, I'll get the flick on. He does get the flick on, but Dan Moss, the right back, sees that coming, gets on the end of the flick on and can play that out for another Braintree throw in. A little bit further up, so territory, everybody moves up the field 10-20 yards. We're going to do the same thing again. It's John Akinde right out by the touchline here, so Clampin to throw it down the touchline. Akinde with a flick on. He has a choice of Lisbys just beyond him. He's looking around and just seeing where to flick it onto. He's got that flick on, and again Dan Moss gets in the way, but it bounces through one of the Lisbys, Kai Rees. He can't get a foot on it, and Woking hit it away. Long ball played down through the middle of the park by Josh Asude. He was looking for his Michael Owen-like super speedy striker to run onto it, but instead he had Ini Effiong, who said, I don't fancy that.
Yeah.
George Langston instead picks it up as the defender for Braintree. Long ball on which Akinde gets the flick on, and that's just a little bit too long for Tyrese Lisby coming in down the right hand side. It bounces up and just a little bit too high for him, which allows Will Jaskalainen, the goalkeeper, to come out of his 6-yard box, pluck the ball out of the air, and Lisby has to run back again.
Yeah, great ball from George, the right hand side, the diagonal ball right onto John's head, and that's been a source of success for Braintree, who have managed to get around that ball there.
Here come Woking again. Little knock on towards Effiong, who again is pushed wide by Aidan Francis Clark, who can win a goal kick. But that was a beautiful flowing long ball from the halfway line, diagonally left to right. Little flick on to Effiong, who had to go a bit wide, and that gave just a little window for Aidan Francis Clark to get back, get in that little area where Effiong would have to turn back into. And again, I mean, Effiong's a big guy. Aidan Francis Clark doesn't look half his size, and yet just shepherds him out.
Yeah, at the moment, the second balls after a diagonal from the defender seems to be the way that these teams are going. It'll be interesting to see who can make it pay first, because it seems like they're having a lot of success for both teams doing it.
Long clearance from Lennon McClurg over the halfway line. There's a long clearance back, and the chase is on in the right back position. Jacob Pinnington doesn't win it, has to give away a throw in, so this will be a chance for another long throw in for Woking from their left hand side. So Jamie Andrews, the man to come across and take it. As mentioned earlier, a West Brom product who is having a good little run down here in Surrey. He's got towels positioned around the pitch, isn't he? I just realised. I think
he's at Stoke. They're just putting the towels anywhere he might take a throw to help him out.
He's in front of the big orange and white Pride of Essex flag, if you know the guys with that. It's a good showing from the Braintree fans, 100 or so. In comes the throw in, and George Langston says, I'm having none of that. Comes through the crowd, bullet headers that away, and as he does so, the referee gives a free kick to Braintree anyway, and Lennon McClurg, the new keeper, will just wait for everybody to move up towards the halfway line. A chance here to just move the territory back up the pitch into the Woking half. Because although it's been pretty even in the middle of the pitch, other than that penalty, generally feeling that the ball would have been in the Braintree half more than the Woking half.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say, Peter. Woking making home field advantage count, for sure.
They're on the break again. Sam Ashford in the middle of the field pings it away down the left-hand side for Ini Effiong, who turns round the back of one and then plays it across the midfield area. Tries to get the 1-2. George Langston spots it, comes out and intercepts. Nowhere for him to go, though. He uses Pennington, who's just off behind him near the corner flag, who just goes route one. Corner flag diagonally across to the left-hand side. And Braintree just need to try and get the ball down. It's all very on the end of your toe, just stretched a little bit, rather than composed, patient play here. Louis Annesley trying to keep it in play. He does so on this near left-hand side. It comes out, though, off the header of Dan Moss for a throw-in. And it's not patient foot on the ball football, is it?
It's definitely not. At the moment, no team can really get a proper foothold in the game, but the way they're turning the ball with quality into areas of danger, turning the defences around, it's making it work for both teams. So
still 1-0 to the Iron. Marley Marshall Miranda, another of the former Colchester contingent, on the halfway line, getting a little 1-2 with George Langston, who invites him to go a little bit further forward. Little triangles at the back, and I think, just as I said, no one's putting their foot on the ball. It's the first bit of patient passing between the defence that we've seen so far from the Braintree defence, but Aidan Francis Clark shows a little bit too much of that to the opposition, and then has to stretch to try and get it back and give away the foul.
Yeah, there's no need for Braintree there to try and change tact. I think they want to get the ball down a little bit more, but with no options, no clear options, Aidan just ran into a little bit of trouble there. But I think that's for the midfield to maybe give them more options and the strikers to make some more runs that they have been. And at the moment, it seems like Woking are really on top here, and Braintree need to find a way to take back control of this game.
Elsewhere, it remains Barnet 1, Gateshead 0, and that means as it stands that Barnet are now over 91 points and are surely going to have automatic promotion here. I think, in fact, York losing to Braintree last week probably fixed it. Oh, a little knock on from Minnie Effiong off the end of that free kick. Didn't quite find anyone, but it got into the 6-yard box, raised heartbeats for a little bit of a moment for Braintree, and Woking going to keep possession midway in the Braintree half. Andrews, he's got Effiong just ahead of him, who manages to hold off Clampin and bring in Sam Ashford just inside. Triangles here on the right hand side. This is more strategic, more worked play. You can imagine them training this one rather than it being loose play. Finally the cross comes in from Jamie Andrews. That's a whipped in inward curling cross, but no one on the end of it, and all the way through to Lennon McClurg in the Braintree goal. So I was mentioning with York losing last week, I think basically the York players were, well, we've earned a trip to Wembley with that defeat at Braintree.
Definitely.
Woking 1, Braintree 0. Here it's Rochdale 1, Aldershot 0. Ebbsfleet 1, Altrincham 1 now. Ebbsfleet have scored. Boston 1, Sutton United 1. So Sutton coming back into that one. In the as it stands table, Braintree remain in 17th. Woking move up to within 3 points of them, but with a worse off goal difference. It means if Braintree were to lose today, they would stay in 17th, but just that bit nearer relegation zone. But if they were to win today, there is still the chance to get all the way up to 15th, 16th place. Possibly even 14th, 13th. Aldershot have gone 2-0 down just as I'm speaking, which is useful in their game.
Wow.
Away at Rochdale. It's Braintree attacking down the right hand side. By attacking, they're looking for options. They're not really got any moves going, any channels going, and they've lost out again, and Woking try and break down the left hand side. I get the feeling that Braintree are actually trying to play as high as they can and getting caught out on the break a little bit, and often we see, especially in away games, it would be the other way round. Yeah,
definitely. I think the press that Braintree are trying to set out for Woking isn't exactly working at the moment. They're trying to play that higher line to catch them offside, but Woking keep finding a way out of it with just one extra pass or one extra touch.
In comes the throw in from Braintree over the halfway line. Kyrese Lisby back to John Akindade. Forward ball, Kyrell Lisby is onto it. Can he keep it in by the byline? The ball is out of play, and it's another corner here for Braintree from the right hand side. There is around 7-8 minutes to go towards half time. They're trailing 1-0, and the big men are coming up from the back. When I say the back, George Langston from the back, but Louis Annesley from the sort of deep midfield area as well. Aidan Francis Clark is up there as well. Jacob Pinnington is going to be the lone man back. Marley Marshall Miranda is on the edge of the D, so if the ball drops out to him, he'll have the first time shot. Shea Cooper is going to take this one, an outswinger. Plenty of movement in the area, players grappling with each other as the ball back spins towards the keeper. It's a good punch out to Marley Marshall Miranda, who tries to head it over everyone's heads, and if the keeper had been either had to go down or had got a player in front of him, that would have looped in underneath the crossbar, but the keeper had that amount of space to just reset himself and catch that. Does that count as an attempt on goal?
I think so.
It does.
I think it was a header on target, because I'll tell you what, if it went in, he would have been saying it's a goal. So I think Marley Marshall done very well there to get his head on that.
And that is Braintree's first attempt on goal of the game so far. It's been something of a midfield arm wrestle so far. Ryan Clampin is off on another canter down the left-hand side. He's got both Lisbys just in front of him. He's managed to keep possession. Chinakoli, he's one of those big defenders you don't want to run into. Just pushes him all the way back up towards the halfway line. Definitely. But Aidan Francis Clark is there just to hook that over the top towards the corner flag, where Louis Annesley grapples with Dan Moss. The two of them get into a bit of a grapple, a bit of afters just by the corner flag. The referee is right in there, I think. Oh, we're continuing on here. I think there's going to be a little bit more. Players from both sides come in. We've got Kyrell Lisby. We're right in front of the crowd. They're all egging us on as much as they're going to want to as well. Chance of off from the home fans. Louis Annesley did lose it for a minute there, as did Dan Moss.
The referee's told him to take a moment there. Looks like he's reaching into his pocket. Let's hope the referee doesn't do anything silly here, because we're having a good game, an even one.
It's an old referee's ploy. Put your hand by your pocket. Just calms people down a little bit. George Langston is over there to be the spokesperson for the Braintree side. Moss and Annesley continue their argument. Essentially, the two were it was Annesley trying to hook the ball back and stop it going off the end of the pitch. Moss, as the fullback, the defender, just putting his hips in the way and stopping him. The two collapsed in a heap off the end of the pitch. Both of them turned round and gave a little bit more, and both of them get a yellow card for that one. It's one of those where I'm thinking, as a referee, you just go, come on, little boys, just stop it.
Just handbags.
Yeah,
it's what the fans love to see as well. There's nothing to do with anything. So,
but to be fair, the referee was right in there really, really early, got in between them and said stop it, and they didn't.
No, they didn't. And to be honest with you, playing in midfield is probably a little bit easier to play on the yellow card because you don't have to tackle, but playing against a player like Kyrell Lisby, Dan Moss has got his work cut out now being yellow card. He has to toe the line. He's on thin ice now.
There's 2 yellow cards towards the back for them as well. Tunji Akinola, the holding midfielder, has a yellow card as well, who tends to play over towards the right hand side just in front of Dan Moss, and the 1 yellow for Louis Annesley. Long clearance which George Langston just wide of the upright at the Braintree end, tried to clear it with a left-footed volley, absolutely got that one wrong, and the ball skewed backwards instead. Keeper wasn't expecting that at all, and that didn't go far wide of his own goal.
No,
that would have been one of those for absolute real highlights. Oh crikey!
Head in hands moment. I don't think George could have done that one more time if he tried 100. The way it just skimmed off his left foot, and it had Lennon scrambling back to his goal, but thankfully it went for a corner. Let's hope we can defend this properly.
In comes the corner. It's a back spinning down towards the edge of the D. It bounces once, but Braintree managed to get it away, and the chase is on down the right hand side. It's Kyrell Lisby, but he is cut out though by Asudi. I think that was back there with him, and Woking can clear up at the back and just mop up and bring that back to their keeper, Will Jaskalainen. My heart is still in my mouth from that George Langston volley. It was how is it physically possible to volley a ball backwards?
I don't think it is, but he managed to do it.
It would have been a horrible, horrible moment, and nothing to do with Woking pressure or anything, just one of those freaks of physics. And having conceded a penalty which was out of nothing really earlier, it would have felt a little bit harsh on Braintree, who I would think of probably if it were a boxing match, I would say Woking mildly ahead on points.
I'd have to agree with you there. They managed to get a few more corners.
They're threading it through the middle of the field here with Beautyman, who is a player who you expect to get. James Vennings is a similar sort of player, isn't he? You expect to get his foot on the ball.
An orchestrator.
He's looking up. You can just tell the shape when he's on the ball as well. And here he is again on the centre circle. Shapes left, but then passes it to the right to Jamie Andrews, the attacking right midfielder, who sits just behind Sam Ashford ahead of him. The ball was hit through towards Sam Ashford. Aidan Francis-Clark sees that one coming, just backpedals a bit to get the header away, but only back into Woking possession. Tunji Kinola is down the right hand side. He's got an Effiong who's moved out the right hand side to pick up the ball from him, but moved just a millisecond too early, and the offside flag goes up against him, and it's something we actually saw when he played for Braintree for the first half of the season. He does play right on the line, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think similar to Filippo Inzaghi, you probably got it right. Any more times than not gets it wrong, but his goal scoring record speaks for itself, and that's why he scores so many goals, because when he does get it right, he's out in the clear.
I've never heard anyone compare Effiong to Inzaghi. He'll take that any day. Ryan Clampin, trying to think who you're going to compare him to. Down the left hand side, let's just say Des Walker, a left back, and get on with it. Throw in towards John Akinde and Beautyman and Annesley all go up for the ball together. I think there's a slight clash of heads here between Beautyman and Annesley in the middle of that triangle. Annesley has stayed down for the moment. He had an awful bang to his head in the game the other week, didn't he?
That's one thing about Louis. He's one of those people that will always get a cut or a bruise somehow. He broke his nose, I think, last month somehow, and he played with a few plugs to stop the bleeding. But I said to him, you're not a real centre half in the National League until you get a cut on your nose or a cut on your face. So he welcomed it, and he's a pretty boy, so he wasn't too happy though.
Yeah, he's got the long hair, quite often with a sort of an Alice band thing, which I blame on the continental influence there.
Yeah.
But captain of Gibraltar, the fact that the captain of Gibraltar and the captain of Grenada both in the squad today, that's quite impressive sounding.
100%.
The free kick finally from Will Jaskalainen flies high up towards the edge of the Braintree penalty area. We are into the last minute of this first half, plus whatever is added. And Braintree cleared it up towards the centre circle. Still not a lot of real pattern and shape to this game. Sam Ashford is off down the left-hand side. He's got Asude on the overlap just outside him, who goes down looking for a free kick, doesn't get it, and Braintree can come away with Marley Marshall-Miranda on the right-hand side. Sorry, Jacob Piddington. As Piddington tries to just lay it off on the outside of his right boot to Lisby. That was brilliantly cut back by Asude, come a long way back just to get a toe in the way and get possession back, but it's still loose in the midfield area. Annesley puts one forward for Braintree down the right hand side. John Akinde goes up against the defender, and after waiting for a second, the referee decides to look at the assistant. He thinks, I'm not quite sure either, they give the corner. So a Braintree corner from the right hand side, and there will be 2 minutes of added time starting now.
I think the best moments from Braintree in this first half are when they've been hitting areas, they've been putting the ball and turning around this Woking back four. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to get a foothold in the game yet.
Shea Cooper's right arm is in the air. There's a lot of movement at the far post. Kyrell Lisby, but it's aimed shorter for the head of George Langston. As just beyond Langston, Lisby ran in and tried to right foot volley it. Didn't quite get it right. It still sits on the edge of the area. Langston boots it with... Did it get a deflection? It didn't. The ball skirls away towards the right hand side and out for a goal kick. He got the power behind it, but it was always curling and skewing, hence skirling, away to the right-hand side.
He did really well there. Braintree kept the ball alive in the box. That's what you got to do from a corner. And it's set up perfectly for him. And just what a defender wants. The ball's bouncing up just for a nice volley. He just timed it a little bit differently. Didn't get the right connection on it. And it goes out for a goal kick.
Away to our left, the home fans know that there will be a little bit of a queue for the burgers at the fan zone, which is a nice little area just behind us in the stand. Opposite us, the 100 or so Braintree fans, not one of them has gone to the burger bar yet. They are hoping something is going to happen in this last few seconds, that Braintree can get back onto level terms. The Iron have got a throw in right hand side for Jacob Pinnington. They're going to have to hurry up if they're going to do something with it. 30 seconds or so to go. Pinnington looking for Akinde down the wing, but instead plays it back to Marley Marshall-Miranda, who turns inside, goes left to right across the middle of the pitch, looking towards the edge of the area, gets a toe in from Jamie Andrews, goes down and wins a free kick. So Braintree will have one last chance at the end of this first half, and I'm going to say that was a clever little play from Marley.
Yeah,
if you're a defender, you think, oh, you little so and so.
Yeah, definitely. Marley's really good at driving with the ball, and he's got good feet for somebody who you wouldn't really associate that kind of play with. He's more of an enforcer, but for what he lacks in that, he really does well to drive for the ball, and he's done it there. Managed to get the ball in a good position. This is dangerous territory.
So the Woking defence holding an offside line level with the penalty area. There are 8 or so Braintree players, or 7 in the area, 4 around, 2 over the ball, Ryan Clampin and Shea Cooper, just to give that little bit of doubt if it's going to be a left foot or a right footer. I suspect it's to be Shea Cooper. This is shaping up for a fast in swinger in the gap between the offside line and the goalkeeper, and Shea Cooper I think went for goal and hits the wall. Tyreek Hines' head is behind it, and as the ball cannons back out towards the halfway line, the referee blows the half-time whistle with the home side 1-0 up. The goal came on 24 minutes, a very cleverly taken free kick by Woking. They shaped up to loop it from the midway in the half into the edge of the area, but instead Harry Beautyman slid it at speed down the left-hand side. New keeper for Braintree, Lennon McClure, came flying out of his goal. He had to. It would have been a 1-on-1 otherwise, but was just a millisecond too late. Took his player down. At least that's what the referee saw. We're not 100% sure there was contact. We're not complaining though, because it was well worked. Harry Beautyman then with a right-footed slotter just inside the post to make it 1-0 at half-time. As for Braintree, only one chance on goal. Marley Marshall-Miranda with a header, which was second ball off a corner, looped it over everybody's head, so technically it was on target, but no real venom behind it, and easy for the goalkeeper. Jamal Fifield at half-time. It's been a first half that's exactly the opposite of the York game last week for me. The York game was it was action and chances every minute. You could not take your eyes off it. That has been a loose and fiddly game in the midfield, with both sides really just trying to tease at each other, and neither side, you feel, has really got whatever they planned at the start of this going yet.
You summed it up perfectly there, Peter. I think probably when you've had such a good performance in the last game, all you want is a little bit of consistency, a few flashes of brilliance, a few flashes of what you actually did last week to get the result you did. It just hasn't been that this week against a Woking side who are fighting for their lives now. Totally different game today. It's one where you're going to have to bite, you're going to have to fight, and you're going to have to claw every single thing if you want to get something out of this game. And we've given ourselves an uphill battle for the second half. I'm sure Steve's in there giving them a right rocket right now, to be honest with you.
Just what do you do? What's the change?
At the moment, I wouldn't make any changes. I think you've just got to understand that we need to get back to the Braintree that we know, because this isn't a Braintree performance so far. We've had flashes, but we haven't had any parts where we thought, okay, yeah, we've got a real foothold in this game. We haven't managed to pass the ball in certain areas and get our better players in the right areas to get on the ball and make things happen. So I think at the moment we just need to get Kyle Reese on the ball a little bit more and get Shea in a position where he can make something happen. Yeah,
in fact, neither side, you expect during a game, in just those open passages of play, you'll get the left winger, the left back and the left midfielder playing triangles around the full back, and they'll hold off. Little shapes that we see in every game. We've hardly even seen those shapes. It's been that loose.
It has, and you see Woking coming more and more into the game. They're managing to find the little pockets of space, and I'm not sure if it's because they're playing a little bit of a higher line, so they're condensing the pitch where Braintree usually like to play, but they've certainly done their homework. They're getting tight in the right areas and not giving anyone any breathing room. But sometimes you've got to take the game by the scruff of the neck and be the one to say, okay, give me the ball, I'm going to make something happen, I'm going to bring others into play and push everyone up the pitch. I think everybody needs to raise their game at the moment.
So usually our Braintree commentary is on a Saturday off online, while Southend and Colchester games are on the airwaves across Essex. It's Braintree's big chance to shine this afternoon, with Colchester playing last night and Southend tonight. We're hoping for something big. So far it's been a bit of a damp squib here at Woking. At half time, it's not a lot in it. It has taken a penalty to separate the sides, but it's probably not unfair. Woking shading it slightly, and half time here in Surrey, it is Woking 1, Braintree Town 0.
Make a difference. When someone has given so much,
it's great to give something back.
I don't know what to say. I'm just a normal bloke.
Celebrate the incredible volunteers, the great neighbours and the outstanding fundraisers by nominating them for a BBC Make a Difference award.
The community was the main thing.
Getting rewarded for it is just absolutely fantastic.
Go to bbc.co.uk/make a difference,
where you can see a list of categories, full terms and our privacy notice.
Coming out here helping others actually helps me.
Nominations are open now and close on the 31st of March at 5 p.m.
BBC Essex. Make a difference.
Tom Larson writes.
BBC Essex Sport.
So Braintree trail at the break up in Woking. Woking 1, Braintree Town 0. Iron fans, if you're listening along, let us know what you made of that first half. You can get in touch with us on the text 81333 or to WhatsApp. It's 08000 321 333 and start your texts or your WhatsApps with the word Essex. Southend fans, we will be building up to your game at home to Oldham from around about 5 o'clock. That's a 5:30 kickoff. We'll be on air, commentary on all BBC Essex frequencies as well as the BBC Sport website and app this afternoon a little later on. And thank you to Wivenhoe Dave for getting in touch with us. I didn't mention the first hour of the programme. I heard you were at Colchester last night. I heard Warren give you a mention, but you say, hello Tom, for my second game of the weekend, I'm at the Theatre of Dreams. Well, it gives me nightmares anyway. I'm watching Wivenhoe versus FC Peterborough, and they really need a win to move away from the bottom three. Let's have plenty of goals, but only in one net. Yeah, fingers crossed. I was listening to the National League commentary as usual. Come on, you Dragons. Thanks, Wivenhoe Dave, for getting in touch with the programme as ever, and I hope Wivenhoe bring you some joy this afternoon. If you want to do as Wivenhoe Dave has done and get in touch with us, as I said, to text, it's 81333 or WhatsApp 08000 321 333 and start your message with the word Essex. So we'll get back off to commentary of the second half of Woking against Braintree Town when the players return to the pitch. Woking 1, Braintree 0 at the break. Elsewhere in football in the National League then, the early kickoff finished Forest Green Rovers 1, Solihull Moors 0, which means Forest Green are in third as it stands on 75 points. So it's probably too far to catch Barnet, who are absolutely flying at the top of the table. Incidentally, they are at half time in the 3 o'clock kickoffs. It's Barnet 2, Gateshead 0. So that could be a good result for the Bees at home to Gateshead. Boston 1, Sutton United 1 at the break. Dagenham and Redbridge 0, Maidenhead United 0, Ebbsfleet 1, Altrincham 1, Halifax 0, Hartlepool United 1, Rochdale 2, Aldershot Town 0, Tamworth 0, Eastleigh 0. You know about Woking 1, Braintree Town 0. Yeovil and Fylde are goalless, and it's York City 1, Wealdstone 0. A late goal in the first half of that one in first half stoppage time, putting York, the second place team in the National League, ahead. Southend against Oldham, as I said, a 5:30 kickoff. So as it stands at the break in the National League, Braintree Town would be sucked back in, as we keep saying every other week, to that National League relegation battle. There'd still be 7 points clear. So as it stands at the moment, none of the teams below them, apart from, of course, Woking, are winning. So it's Maidenhead. It's Ebbsfleet, already relegated in 24th. They're on 19 points. Above them, Maidenhead United in 23rd. They're on 39 points. Fylde in 22nd. They're on 40 points. Boston United in the final relegation position on 41 points. Then above the dotted line, Dagenham and Redbridge, again 41 points, but with a better goal difference. Wealdstone above them, Woking above them, and Braintree Town above them. So as it stands at the break, if the Iron were to go on and lose this game as they're doing at half-time, they'd then be 7 points off Boston, who currently drawing at home to Sutton United. So it's Boston 1, Sutton 1, Dagenham 0, Maidenhead 0, 2 teams down there in the bottom. So maybe that, if those get both games stay as a draw, that'll be helpful for Braintree. Elsewhere, though, in the world of football, early kickoff in the FA Cup, if you haven't heard it already, finished Fulham 0, Crystal Palace 3. So Palace are through to the semi-finals of the FA Cup. The late kickoff in that competition is Brighton against Nottingham Forest from 5:15. In the Scottish Premiership, at the break, it's Aberdeen 2, Motherwell 1, Celtic 3, Hearts 0, Hibernian 2, St Johnstone 0, and St Mirren 2, Kilmarnock 0. Dundee against Rangers is the late kickoff in that division. The Championship early kickoffs, Hull City 0, Luton Town 1, Watford and Plymouth was goalless. Then at the break, you've got Burnley 1, Bristol City 0, Zian Fleming on the score sheet for Burnley. Cardiff City 1, Sheffield Wednesday 0, Leeds United 1, Swansea City 0, a goal from Brendan Arison in the first minute of that game for the Whites. Middlesbrough 0, Oxford United 1, so Oxford again trying to pull away from those relegation positions. Goalless between Norwich City and West Brom. Portsmouth 1, Blackburn 0, Stoke 2 up at home to QPR. A goal for Junior Chamadou. That is first for the Potters since joining them from Colchester United. So Stoke 2, QPR 0. Sunderland 1, Millwall 0. So as it stands at half-time, Leeds United moved back to the top of the Championship table ahead of Sheffield United, only on goal difference. The Blades were 3-1 winners against Coventry City last night. Burnley would be third, just 2 points behind Sheffield. And then the other teams in the playoffs would be Sunderland in fourth, Coventry in fifth, West Brom in sixth, and Bristol City in seventh, 1 point behind West Brom as it stands at the break. League One for you then, early kickoffs, Charlton Athletic 4, Huddersfield Town 0. That's a big result for Charlton, and indeed having a look at the table for that one as it's finished, that moves them up to fourth as it stands, 3 points behind Wycombe Wanderers. They are currently drawing 0-0, Wycombe at home to Lincoln City. Elsewhere, though, in the 3 o'clock kickoffs in League One, Birmingham 1, Shrewsbury 0, Blackpool 1, Bolton 1, Bristol 1, Mansfield Town 1, Cambridge United 0, Northampton Town 1. So that's a big result possibly on the cards for Northampton. Exeter 0, Wrexham 1, Reading 1, Peterborough 0, Rotherham 0, Crawley 1. and Wigan 0, Barnsley 1. In League 2, Colchester, of course, losing 2-1 to Grimsby Town last night. We'll hear from the U's captain Tom Flanagan in just a moment. In the Saturday fixtures, earlier it finished Accrington Stanley 0, Bradford 0, Crewe Alexandra 0, Port Vale 1. So as it stood after that, Colchester were 8th, 4 points off Grimsby in 7th, who are the team occupying the last playoff place. But the 3 o'clock kickoffs, Barrow 0, Chesterfield 0 at the break, Bromley 1, Salford City 2, Doncaster Rovers 1, Carlisle United 0, Harrogate 1, Gillingham 0, 1-1 between MK Dons and Fleetwood Town, Morecambe 1, Swindon 0, and Newport County 0, Notts County 1, and then Walsall 0, AFC Wimbledon 0. So still as it stands, the U's in 8th with all those fixtures as they are at the break. Let's hear then from the U's captain, Tom Flanagan. He's been speaking to Neil Kelly last night after the U's 2-1 defeat. The winning goal for Grimsby coming from, you could call it a defensive error, as Tom Flanagan, the ball kind of took an awkward bounce as it came towards him and allowed Grimsby to break and then finish as they did so, and the U's weren't able to come back. It all ended in a 2-1 defeat for the U's, their first defeat at home since early January. And as I said, Tom Flanagan was speaking to Neil Kelly after the game.
Tom, what a hard way to lose the game.
Yeah, it was disappointing way for it to end. But like they say at the top level and at this level, it's kind of fine margins, and we were just on the wrong side of it today, unfortunately. I think when we look back at it, probably a little bit disappointed with kind of the way we start the second half and things like that. It's not really like us. So yeah, I mean, there's positives to take out of the game. Obviously, ultimately, the result is a bad result for us in what we're trying to do, but it just means we've got to win one more, you know. So we've got a target amongst ourselves, and we're going to take that to the very, very last day.
We should get on record that Grimsby have got the best away record in the division, and they played well this evening.
Yeah, I thought they did. I thought they did play well. It's funny, some of the teams who are sitting very near the top of the table have come here, and I've come away thinking they're not very good at all. And then, to be fair to Grimsby, they came here and I thought they played really well. One of the best teams that we've played here, and that's credit to them. They came, and I think it's credit to us as well. Teams are doing so much homework on us. They kind of know what we're going to do before we do it sometimes, and that's credit to how we've been playing and how much attention teams pay us now.
Very unlucky not to score yourself right at the beginning of the game.
Yeah, that's right. I've not actually seen it back, but I felt I was onside. I thought the lad with the long hair kind of dropped early, and I snuck off the back of him. So
the referee's given it.
Yeah.
The referee's assistant has kept his flag down.
Right. Okay.
Then his flag's gone up.
Yeah.
After the referee's given it. Is that because maybe he didn't realise you had made contact, or was your contact really clear?
The contact was pretty clear.
Yeah,
I think the only thing, he definitely gave it for offside, so the referee shouldn't really be giving offside. It should be the linesman, really. So
that's Tom Flanagan speaking to Neil Kelly after they used 2-1 defeat at home to Grimsby Town in League 2. National League, though, action is our focus for this afternoon. It's coming up to 4 minutes past 4.
BBC Essex Sport.
And from 3 o'clock, you've been listening to commentary of Braintree Town away at Woking. The Iron are trailing going into the second half due to a goal from the penalty spot from Harry Buteman.
As a ploy, it's hit towards the left-hand side. Keeper has to come out and take out the player. It's a penalty for Woking. It is Buteman who will take the penalty. Hands on hips. Lennon McClure bounces around as much movement as he can, trying to put off Buteman. Finally the wiggle, the step up, right-footed along the ground. Keeper goes the right way, but not quite quick enough. And Woking take the lead. It's Woking 1, Braintree Town 0.
So time to see if the Iron can find a way back into this one against a stubborn Woking side. Let's rejoin your commentary team of Peter Morris and Jamal Fifield.
BBC Essex Sport.
Yes, welcome back to Surrey, and the whistle is blown just as you come to us, and then is blown a second time for a full start. We will be underway in the second half after a lacklustre first half, but there has been a meeting at half-time and there are changes. Jamal Fifield is in the press box alongside me. What's the result of the meeting?
Well, there's two changes that Braintree have seen fit to make Cairo Lisby coming off for Jermaine Francis, who captained his side in the internationals in the week, and also Alan Judge coming on for Marshall Miranda.
Now, so far this season, we've seen bit parts of Alan Judge. Colchester fans, of course, will know him very, very well. As Woking come forward down the left-hand side, but Tyreek Hines is offside. We've seen him come on as basically just to get a bit of pep in that last 10-15 minutes so far. We've not seen him so much so early in the game. So any idea of the thinking?
Well, as we spoke about in the first half, there wasn't anyone that could put their foot on the ball and bring about any quality. But one thing Alan Judge does is he brings others into play, gets the ball down and tries to play too. So I think that's the thinking behind that one, just to get us ticking a little bit more, to get us playing a little bit more and get our patterns of play coming to fruition, really.
He's got that look about him as he's come on of come near me and I'll eat you. There's business there. So is Louis Annesley, who suddenly got a bit. There is a bit of menace as they've come back out. The attitude has changed. It's a throw in for Woking, so as we're not quite getting going in the second half yet. Just to go through the side then for Braintree here. Lennon McClurg, the on-loan keeper from Charlton, making his debut today. Across the back, it's Ryan Clampin, Aidan Francis Clark, George Langston and Jacob Pinnington. The holding two now of Louis Annesley and Alan Judge. An attacking three of Jermaine Francis, Shea Cooper and Kyrese Lisby, and John Akinde is the lone striker up front. As for Woking, we won't go through the whole team for Woking, but the ones to watch out for: Tariq Hines at left back was at Braintree earlier on in the season, as was Ini Effiong, the main striker for Braintree for the first half of the season, is the main striker for them today. Sam Ashford to his right is ex-Whittam Town, amongst others in Essex, and Harry Beautyman is the former Sutton United man in their midfield area. He, alongside West Brom product Jamie Andrews, are the engine of their midfield, which is one mildly on point, so I'm calling it, in the first half. They've looked slightly the better, and they've got a free kick to start with at the start of the second half that Harry Beautyman's about to take.
Yeah, in the dangerous area, a man of Harry Beautyman's ability, he's going to put this into a dangerous area and asking questions of Lennon again.
After I took the mick when he said danger zone in the first half, we're now avoiding saying highway to the danger zone. And it comes, it's got a flick on and it's in! Beautyman with a curler in towards the far right-hand side of the 6-yard box. The Woking players ran in and the Braintree defenders were a yard or so behind. It just needed the deftest of flicks. It's Woking 2, Braintree 0. Disappointing start to the second half.
Worst possible start you could think of your Braintree Town. Beautiful free kick into a danger area. Looked like he was whipping it to the back stick. No Braintree player reacted, and unfortunately it's gone straight in. Lennon McClurg didn't react either, and that's 2 set pieces now and 2 goals for Woking.
Dear oh dear oh dear. Beautyman again with the guile. It was his free kick in the first half that led to the penalty, and his free kick in there, it looked pretty standard. You put an in-swinger in between all the players and the goalkeeper, you know everyone's going to run back on it. What happened? There was 2 Woking players through in the middle there, and no defenders have managed to get that 2 or 3 yards back with them.
I don't think no one reacted, no one saw the danger of anyone running. And it actually looked like no one was ready for the free kick to actually go into the box.
And they're going to draw a parallel with a goal in the first half there as well, that Beautyman's free kick there caught everybody, that the goalkeeper had to come out and try and rescue it, gave away the penalty, but that's twice that the defence have been caught by a quickly taken Beautyman free kick, which they've not really worked out what was going to happen. Can Braintree get back into this one though? They came out with attitude in the second half, have immediately conceded. This is now game on. They've really got to basically start throwing the kitchen sink early on in this second half. Clash goes in between Jamie Andrews and Aidan Francis Clark on the far side. Both players spin out onto the ground. Francis Clark limps away. Andrews stays down for a moment, but the free kick is against Francis Clark. And again, Woking have a chance to flight a free kick, this time from the right-hand side towards the Woking area, the Braintree area. The Braintree defensive line is quite a lot further out here. The free kick's from near the halfway line, and the defensive line is outside of the D. So there's a huge gap if they want to float this one in, and it's floated short as well. It gets a bounce. Jacob Pennington is on the end of that bounce and heads it back out towards the midfield area, but for the moment Braintree are pinned back on the edge of their own area. Josh Asude down this left hand side tries to get round the back of Pennington, doesn't though. Pennington holds him off and slides the ball down the byline, looking for a diagonal run of Kyrese Lisby out towards that line, but Kyrese Lisby can't get there before the fullback, who hits it back down the line towards the corner flag. Where can Ryan Clampin keep that one in? He's pushed off the ball, and that's going to be a goal kick for Woking. And there's suddenly a bit of urgency all round here. Sorry, goal kick for... Again, getting mixed up. We've changed ends here. A goal kick for Braintree. Yeah,
there needs to be a bit of urgency. Braintree need to have the next goal. Otherwise, this looks like it's going to be no points.
Jermaine Francis flattens... Here's Chinnacoli. He's a big man to flatten. Bit of Francis' attitude is needed in the middle here. Braintree have to get mean. They're not getting onto the ball though. Josh Asude turns around the back of Ansley, pushes him over. The ball bounces out towards Lisby. Lisby, edge of the area, he's got two with him. He's being sent very, very wide. Hinds goes with him, but goes down, and it means that Lisby can get to the line, and he can get across. It's too long though. Shea Cooper tries to keep it on the left-hand side, with the left side of the Woking area now, just trying to build up to Alan Judge in the middle. On his right boot, takes a shot, slices it a little bit, hits the first player anyway, and comes back out into the midfield. George Langston tidies up. Play through the middle of the field now to Judge, to Annesley. There's more pace and pep about this. Annesley curls the ball towards the penalty area. Ockley is underneath it. Can only get a header out as far as the right hand side to Pennington, up against the fullback Tyreek Hides by the corner flag, the right corner flag that Braintree are attacking. Hides, as though, has got a clearance out only as far as Judge in the central midfield area. He faces backwards, and that is what he's bringing in. He didn't immediately try and pass that first time. He thought there's nothing on, pass that backwards, get a little bit of patience and a little bit more of a build-up and thought into this. They're away down the left-hand side. Clampin's got to cross in at the byline. Keeper Jääskeläinen goes down and collects. Akinde was coming through in the middle, would have managed to get an easy tap in from only a yard or so out had he got in there, but Jääskeläinen you would expect to get down in front, but Judge is starting to try and pull one or two strings here.
He is, and that's so much better play down that left-hand side between Brian Clampin and Shea Cooper, playing 1-2s as they usually do, and he's just an overlapping run from Clampin there, but he wasn't able to get his foot hooked around that ball enough as it's going onto the byline.
It's a much more physical game net here. The long goal kick downfield, Annesley tackles with Effiong, who goes down. The back pass to Lennon McClurg in goal for Braintree. He flies that one up towards the halfway line, and Shea Cooper brings it down onto his right foot, left side of the field, long towards Lisby in the central area, who again tangles with Tariq Hines. Hines goes down. The decision goes against Lisby on this occasion, but this is going to be the battle of the day in this second half, isn't it? Hines against Lisby.
It really is, and Hines is doing well because he's taking Lisby the other way, knowing that Lisby doesn't really want to defend. And when you've got the ball, it's sometimes the best form of defence, because the other team can't get the ball and they can't produce any magic, and that's what Lisby's struggling to do today.
So the free kick is on the edge of the penalty area for Woking, their own penalty area, and in his green outfit with the gold sash across it, very festive, hits that long down the left touchline as Woking look at it, but goes out of play for a Braintree throw-in on their right touchline. George Langston loops it up towards the halfway line. Oh, that's a flick on that's gone badly for Woking. Lisby is to the edge of the area. He's had to turn around one way then the other and had to go backwards. He's pushed out towards the corner flag and eventually loses out. Does win a throw-in, but just for a second there, the back pass, that the header went backwards from Woking, and he had just half a yard to try and get in.
It did. A quick throw from George down the line. Akinola was in a bit of spot of bother, but he managed to untangle himself from Lisby there, because it looked like he could have gave away a foul, and he was the last man, so anything could happen there, especially with the way the referee's officiating today. But George Langston there putting a throw in, hopefully.
Bit of singing from the home fans away to our left. It's a very polite ground, this one. It's very, very nice, but not very iffy. In comes the throw, and it's allowed to bounce twice, goes through everybody, and out from right to left, where Jermaine Francis keeps it in. No one could get a toe or a head in on the end of that one, but Braintree keep possession to Shea Cooper, right-footed. Oh, and that's a shot that's beyond the keeper and beyond the far post. George Langston had half a little nod to try and get a header in there, but too much pace and away for a goal kick. But that is, the first decent, proper shot they've had all game.
Yeah, so much better there. Shea getting more and more involved in the game. Jermaine Francis doing what he does best, being a pest, harrying the defences. And he's played a lovely little 1-2 on the edge of the box on the left-hand side. And Shea, unfortunately, the angle was just against him and he wasn't able to direct it goalwards. But much more positive since that second goal went in.
Keeper Jaskalainen is indicating to everyone in front to come together into a group, and then he sticks that one high up in the air so it plops into the middle of the group. Woking do get a flick on though down towards this left side. Josh Asude holding off with Aidan Francis Clark, who heads in for a throw in for Woking. Safety first. That means the likes of Akinde are going to have to come back and help to defend, because they know what is coming. A Jamie Andrews throw in from this right hand side. Dagenham and Redbridge 1, Maidenhead United 0 is the latest from Victoria Road. I'm not sure whether that's helpful or not helpful. But Andrews with the throw in. He's got another towel down there. There's big signs for the Peacock Shopping Centre opposite. They sell a lot of towels to him. In comes the throw in. It's got a long length on that towards the penalty spot. Akinde back defending, does head it away, but it's going to come back round again towards Andrews out on this left hand side. Beautyman on the overlap, goes for the byline, turns back onto his right, uses Andrew again. In comes a low cross. Jermaine Francis heads it down, and then a flying shot in from the edge of the area from Ini Effiong. Power, looked good, but always over the top of the crossbar.
Yeah, great play from Harry Beautyman. Andrews on this left hand side, 2v1. We'll get George Langston, no one coming out to help him. Andrews played a lovely ball straight into Ineoffen's feet. He took a touch, and as he turned and swiveled on it, he's just rising over the bar. Great technique, but hard to keep down there.
Substitution for Woking. So Josh Asude is going off, and coming on is Lewis Walker. I forgot he was in the team. Do you remember earlier I said Ryan Clampin, who should we compare him to? And I said, let's just say Des Walker, first left back I could think of. Yeah. Who is Des Walker's son? Lewis Walker comes on as substitute. Almost felt like it was written and scripted in that way. It wasn't at all. We're back into midfield area where, again, the tackles are flying in from both sides. Jamie Andrews is crawling around on the ground but isn't getting a decision. Braintree clear up, back to McClurg, the keeper, who hits a really long ball downfield that bounces towards the edge of the Woking area, and John Akinde is there with Tariq Hines trying to hold him off. Oh, Akinde's got round him, skillful little feet, wins a corner from the right hand side. He's
great play there.
I talk about Akinde as if he's a big lump of a number 9 sort of thing. He's actually got a lot of there's nimbleness there, isn't there?
There is a lot of nimbleness in that big body.
He could be on Strictly.
He could be on Strictly, did you say?
there's enough footwork goes on there. Okay, maybe
if
not.
He steps on one of those dancers' feet, they'll be out for weeks.
In it comes from Shea Cooper. That's a fast corner in, headed out by Woking towards the edge of the area, but Braintree have got them pinned back for the moment. Pinnington puts it out towards the corner taker on the right hand side. Cooper, this time left footed, curls one in. It's headed out all the way back to him, and now he goes for the 1-2 with Annesley, who went one way as the ball was passed just the other side of him. Tries to do the splits to complete the 1-2, doesn't come off though. John Akinde is on a little bit of a 1-2 with a Coley there, and the referee's going to have a word and just say calm it down a bit. And I think in the middle of that, it's Akinde basically saying, I'm going to get the ball back and get them to play on with it as quick as possible, and not start time wasting.
Definitely. I think the referee has noticed the goalkeeper trying to take a little bit too much time there, so he's managed to speed him up just a little bit.
Long goal kick from the keeper goes all the way through to Lennon McClurg at the other end, and this time he goes for the short option down the left hand side to Ryan Clampin. No way through. There's playing out from the back for the moment from Braintree. We've not really seen them do that this match. They're pressed quite quickly, but they've sort of got away with it. Alan Judge to Ryan Clampin. There was a shout from the home fans for handball. Everyone stopped for a moment, and Clampin's decided as everyone stops, I'm going for it with a shot that's just wide across the goal. Long run down the left hand side, a left footed shot. It was a grass cutter, and it looked to me that the keeper knew that was going wide all the while.
It did, but that's so much better from Braintree Town. Since that goal's gone in, it's been all ball for them. and Ryan Clamplin, another beautiful run down that left hand side, went past a few of the Woking players, namely Akinola, and he just wasn't able to get his foot around the ball and he's just dragged it wide. But positive signs, they're knocking on the door, Braintree.
Just coming up to the hour mark. Elsewhere, Barnet 2, Gateshead 0, Boston 1, Sutton 1, Daggers 1, Maidenhead 0, Ebbsfleet 1, Altrincham 1, Halifax 0, Hartlepool 1, Rochdale 4, Aldershot 0, and here come Woking down the right hand side, and that's a great save from McClurg. A shot in from the edge of the area from the new man on the pitch, Walker, who turned it on his right hand side, and that was a low shot through a crowded area. McClurg did really well to take that one out. Yeah,
straight from the goal kick from Jaskalainen. Braintree back line just not able to deal with the long ball, and Walker's capitalised. He's picked up a lovely little position, chopped inside on the edge of the left hand side of the box, drilled a lovely shot, bottom left hand corner. McClurg was there to push it around the post for a corner for Woking.
I'm very pleased for him as well, having given away the penalty. That's the first chance he's had to show that he can do a really, really good save. That was cracking stuff, but it is a corner still to defend. Beautyman from this left hand side puts that towards the far post. It's over the head of McClurg, who sort of half came for it on that occasion, but I think he knew it was too high for everyone around him too, and the ball curls back round and out of play for a Braintree goal kick. In the as it stands table, then, it's one of those usual things with scores elsewhere going this way and that. It seems like there's movement all over the place, and then you end up where you started. Braintree still in 17th.
Yeah. I think we've done well to give ourselves a bit of a cushion. As much as you want to win as many games as possible, this is the kind of game we definitely need a point from at a minimum, being 2-0 down. It's just a shame now that we find ourselves in this position, because it's an uphill task from here.
It is. Starting the day 8 points off the zone, 7 points off the zone rather now, and it's just using up a little bit of that cushion that they've gained against Gateshead and York. But can they get back into it and get more? In comes across from the left hand side from Clampin. It was no real power on it. It floated towards the near post, and Will Jaskalainen can get easily underneath that one and just push everyone back up towards the halfway line. Clampin's had 2 or 3 of those decent runs forward now.
Yeah, he's getting a lot of ball now, Clamps. As the game's open up, he's getting a lot more space to work his magic. Unfortunately, he's just not been able to get that ball right.
Another route one ball downfield. It's a missed defensive header by Pennington, and Woking can get a shot in from the edge of the area. Jamie Andrews with a high tariff attempt. It was a cross from the left hand side towards Jamie Andrews on his left foot, so the ball was coming into his foot as he took a swing at it. He got a halfway decent shot away, but was never going to get that one in. Braintree play out from the back, which is slightly worrying because the press is on and they are tackled. It's Pennington that's tackled. The ball goes out of play. The referee was a quarter of the distance from the ball that the assistant was, and still looked at the assistant. 2 or 3 times in this game I've noticed the referee is quite reliant on his assistants.
Yeah, and so he should be, but I think he was closer than the actual ref on that one, so I'm not sure what he's looking to the full official for.
I can tell you at half time the Woking people around me think the same thing about the referee, but anyway, I've got no big problems with any of his decisions, and if he takes a while to take decisions and takes advice, then that's his lookout. It's a free kick against Jermaine Francis. Was that going in? It's usually against Jermaine Francis or Miley Marshall Miranda, isn't it?
Yeah, it definitely is.
Between them and Shea Cooper, that's 3 real terriers in the midfield area.
It is, and I think we need to get them in the position, because that's not their natural game. Their natural game is to be on the ball and make things happen, rather than the other's defensive side. You don't want them defending, in all honesty.
Defensive free kick then for the goalkeeper for Woking, Will Jaskalainen, from the edge of his area. He's in no hurry to take it. Finally does one of those floating balls out which just goes above the top of everybody's heads. No real height to it, but quite a bit of length. It sort of floats and comes down and is cleared back out towards the halfway line, where Woking do a little bit of one touch played eventually to Walker, who is he caught by Annesley just outside the area. The referee says no. Braintree coming away on the break with Ryan Clampin over the halfway line. He's got Cooper ahead of him. Little 1-2 between them. Judge is there to help out as well. Judge stands one up towards the near post, straight into the breadbasket of Will Jaskalainen. Back at the other end, you can hear the boos around us.
Yeah, I'm not sure what for, to be honest, because Walker's tried to buy a free kick and there was no movement, there was no touch on him, but he's got his body in between the man and the ball and gone down, hoping the referee would blow his whistle. But I think the referee's a bit he's clocked on to what he's trying to do.
It was worth a try, as you say. That Annesley was there. He went across the front of Annesley and went down. So I'm thinking there was contact, but it's not like Annesley put his foot out.
He didn't. He didn't even try.
Still 2-0 to Woking here. Can the Iron get back in this one? 65 minutes gone on BBC Essex. Not that way, because it's a ball played to Shea Cooper and just played beyond him. I get the feeling that although I'm trying to just injecting this to feel that Braintree are trying to put energy and get into this one and get back into it, I think that's actually what they're doing, and sometimes missing passes as a result.
Yeah, definitely. I think when you need a reaction and you want to get back to the team that you know, the only way to do that is to get back to what you do, and that's get the ball down as Braintree have in the right areas and play their football.
Here come Braintree on the left-hand side. They have got the ball back off the throw-in. That's a neat little back heel from Shea Cooper that gets Ryan Clampen away down the left-hand side, who's round the full-back, round the second man, but isn't past the third man, and Dan Moss can recover for Woking in the full-back position and clear that down the line, back towards the halfway line, where Braintree are looking to take a throw-in. Judgy is saying, come on, somebody quickly come in here. Let's keep the momentum going up. From the throw-in, they give away a free kick. That's disappointing.
It is. Sometimes when you're trying to inject some life into the game, you make silly mistakes like a quick throw where no one's ready, and that just seemed like that on that occasion where Judgy tried to throw it to George and George tried to run in. Unfortunately, he didn't see any Effiong coming off the blind side.
So we've got a small stoppage here because the Woking player remains down. However, during that stoppage there's going to be another substitution for Braintree, and that is Jacob Pennington coming off and Manny Okanuwu coming on. Now Manny, whenever I see him with the Ipswich under-21s, plays in a deep left position. I don't know if you call it inverted. As a right footer, he can curl them out towards the byline, rather than he could obviously play in an advanced right position as well. But while I'm talking, this Woking are going to make a substitution as well, so let's just keep up with the church admin here.
And Shea Cooper's come off as well for Tom Blackwell.
Actually, Woking shaped for a substitution, but I thought Effiong was coming off, but he's actually taking instructions, so no changes for them as yet. And just confirming, so it's Blackwell for Cooper.
Yeah, and I think Aidan will come out to the right-hand side to fill in for Jacob Pennington, with Louis Annesley slotting into his favoured position as a centre-half, with Manny going into midfield.
There's deep thought going on the bench. Carl Duguid always looks on deep thought on the edge of his bench. Steve Pitt, he stands with his arms crossed a lot, doesn't he?
He does.
Even when they're winning.
Yeah, he does. He doesn't show much emotion when we're losing. I think when we're winning, you see all sorts of emotion from him.
Finally, we're going to get back underway then here. It's a free kick hit long down the field by Jaskalainen, the Woking keeper. Ini Effiong has managed to get on the end of it and take it towards the corner flag on the left-hand side for Woking. It's got Harry Buterman in beside, tries to play a 1-2, and it does eventually come off. Effiong edge of the area. He's got help alongside him from Sam Ashford, but as Sam Ashford tries to just pull the trigger and take a shot, it's thumped away from just on the end of his toe down towards the halfway line, where Alan Judge can try and do a one-touch, get Tom Blackwell away for the first time down the left-hand side, but overhits it, and it's out for a Woking throw-in on the right-hand side. That was neat from Ini Effiong for a moment. We're talking about big guys with nimble feet. He showed there's some nimble feet there when he wants to as well.
Ini's trying to score against his old team. You can see he's desperate for a goal. He's not scoring a couple. I think today will be the day that he'll really want to score a goal. He's seen his family here as well.
Still the Iron trail 2-0. They've won a goal kick, and that was Woking coming down the right hand side, and Louis Annesley just pushing the player off and putting him off, and Walker putting it wide. Walker's looked really useful since he's come on, Lewis Walker. He
has a little bit of speed, a little bit of strength. Goes a long way in the National League, especially when a team running in ascendancy like Woking are.
He's got an interesting background, Lewis Walker. A bit like basically, I mentioned that he is Dez's son, so Des was sort of East Midlands, Notts Forest, Sheffield Wednesday with that Sampdoria bit as well. He's got a similar sort of path because of that, of Derby County and Como. That's some CV to have. Ryan Clampen on the ball, left hand side for Braintree though, is off down the touchline. He's got to cross into the centre, and Braintree have got one back. The referee comes in, blows the whistle. There's a fight in the net. The goalkeeper is trying to hold on to the ball. Players come piling in from both sides. We've got punches being thrown, everything's going off. The referee will just pull everything back. Next question, in the middle of all of that, is it a goal or not? I think it is. Aidan Francis-Clarke certainly is running back and indicating to the fans that it's a goal. The players are coming back to the halfway line. It is a goal back for Braintree. It's confirmed. Yellow card to the keeper for Woking. It's Woking 2, Braintree 1.
Great play down the left hand side by Ryan Clampin. It looked like he was going to cross it first time. Took another touch past his defender and dinked it into a beautiful area. And Aidan Clarke-Francis rose highest and powered into the back of the net past Jaskalainen, and he wasn't able to stop that. He was trying to get the ball out of the net, but Jaskalainen stopped him, and that's the reason why he got a yellow card. And Aidan was trying to get the ball, but unfortunately he just couldn't get it off him, and now the referee's going to give him a yellow card.
Yep, and also Tariq Hines gets a yellow as well.
But perfect timing, 20 minutes to get an equaliser. Let's see what Woking are made of.
I was pretty sure it was him that scored because he celebrated hardest.
Oh yeah, it was him. It was definitely him.
But the Braintree fans on the other side, there was that moment, because everything then kicked off as soon as it went in the goal, where was that a goal? Where are we at? The referee's running in. Nobody was quite sure of anything for the moment. It needed Aidan Francis-Clarke to come running out and just tell everyone, yes, that was a goal. We are back in this one. We have got about 20 minutes or so. We're at the 71-minute mark. That is more than enough time if any momentum can be got back together. But Woking try and play it down the left-hand side, and the aforementioned Lewis Walker just doesn't control it. One of those moments where you try and control the ball while you look up and you look up and then end up not controlling the ball, and it goes off the edge of the pitch. Aidan Francis-Clarke with the throw in down the right hand side, and they have moved things around in the midfield, haven't they? So Francis-Clarke has dropped back to right back. Lou Annesley has come back into the centre half, with Judge coming in the middle. There'll be a long throw in coming in from the right hand side for the late game for Southend United. The team news is coming through. We'll head to that shortly. And George Langston from the right hand side though for Braintree with a throw in. It's got a first defensive header away, a second defensive header away, but only to Manny Okanowu, edge of the area. Hooks it out towards the left side for Lisby, Kyrese Lisby. He's managed to turn. He's going to face the fullback. Can he take him on? Decides not to. Uses Okanowu, who puts in a long cross towards the far post, gets a flick on and goes away for a corner, which I think they're going to take very quickly. So we'll get the Southend team news in a moment or so. It's Tom Blackwell is going to take this, his first corner of the game, a right footer. Ryan Clampin makes himself available for the short one. Alan Judge is on the edge of the D. Beyond him, there is nobody back from either team. Everybody is in the Woking area. Here it comes. Oh, Blackwell's hit that high and long over everybody's heads, but Judge comes from that deep position and just clears up out towards the left hand side. He's got Francis out there with him. Little 1-2s. Okanowu there as well. Okanowu tries a shot. That's charged down, and Woking can now break if they get the pass away right. Walker didn't quite get it right, but he's got Effiong coming in on the outside on the left hand side. He's towards the edge of the area. He's got to the byline. The cross is there. Keeper comes in, collects, but Okanowu goes in at the same time and takes it away from the keeper. Fortunately, Braintree get away with it, and Aidan Francis-Clarke comes away down the right hand side. He then squares it right to left to Francis, who's off at pace towards the corner flag, turns in towards the edge of the area, goes for the byline. He's got his cross into the near post, and that's just poked by Tom Blackwell just wide of the near post. Goal kick then to Woking. It remains here. Woking 2, Braintree Town 1. Let's head out and hear what the latest Southend team news is. Warren Muggleton, what have you got?
Well, I can tell you, Peter Morris, that we are unchanged for the Blues coming into this game against Oldham Athletic. The first time the Blues have been unchanged since the festive period, the wins against Ebbsfleet and Braintree Town. Of course, they're coming to this one following a defeat at Boston United against an Oldham Athletic side, one of the best travelling teams in the league. Only 2 defeats in the 19. So that unchanged team means it will be Nick Hayes in goal, a back four of Scott Morris, Harry Taylor the captain, and Ben Goodliff in the middle with Joe Gubbins on the left. James Morton will be in the midfield in front of them. Keenan Napier Force and Noor Hussein with him. And then a front trio with Macaulay Bonne on the right, Leon Parallon on the left, and Tom Hopper leading the line. One change to the bench sees Jack Bridge come in following the birth of his baby boy. He replaces Charlie Kendall. Sets up a really exciting encounter. Atmosphere's bubbling nicely already here at Roots Hall for a crowd expected to be over 8,000 for this game between Southend and Oldham Athletic.
Thanks, Warren. Kick-off there, of course, is at 5:30. Full commentary to come on BBC Essex, with Southend, Colchester and Braintree all playing at separate points this weekend. We've already had Colchester losing against Grimsby last night. We've got Braintree currently trailing against Woking this afternoon, and then Southend against Oldham later. It is a feast of Essex football all the way through Friday and Saturday. But can Braintree get back in this last 15 minutes or so with Manny Okanuo on the ball, holding off the opposite number, Sam Ashford? And there's one throw-in which Ryan Clampin scampers over to take. They're trying to keep the momentum up at Braintree Town here, and that is what the territory we're in here, isn't it? It's a long throw-in is downfield. Jermaine Francis can't quite get on the end of it, on the edge of the 6-yard box, but does win another throw-in, left-hand side. I keep trying to bring you in, Jamal, but it's all going too fast. Ryan Clampin to the near post, flick on from Akinde. Woking's defence managed to get that one free. There were two other Braintree players in there, and the ball just fell between them. No one could get a touch in, but Braintree do keep possession, right hand side. Aidan Francis Clark a long way up, but Ini Effiong back defending, can then send it away for Sam Ashford, who just had Ryan Clampin to get past, and then it would have been a 1-on-1. Clampin though slides in, gets a toe in. There's help to his right from Francis Clark, and it's back up towards the Woking end, where Beautyman gets possession back for the home team. This is now proper momentum from Braintree, but Woking trying to keep up their pressure as well.
Yeah, it's real end-to-end stuff. You attack, we attack, and it just seems like a lot is happening down Braintree's left-hand side. Jermaine Francis on the ball now, finding a good little bit of space. It's just about getting Clamps on the ball, because he seems to be the out ball at the moment. He's doing so much good work.
Francis away down the left, holds off his player again. He's got to the byline, turns onto his right, tries to get around his player, doesn't come off, but he does win a corner instead from the left-hand side. And there's no wandering over to take it. He goes running over, but doesn't need to, because I think that's Sam Ashford who's sat down on the floor. And I'm not sure whether he's actually been caught or whether that's one of those moments.
The dark arts.
Yes.
I don't mind the dark arts. I like to dabble in them myself from time to time, Peter, especially when a team's on the ascendancy and you can see that they're getting a foothold in the game. Just to take the sting out of it, just take their momentum away a little bit, you just go down and waste a little bit of time. But it is add on at the end, so.
I never know, are these things actually discussed? Is it a tactic, right? If it's this situation, then you might go down.
Sometimes
or is it just a feel about it?
Yeah, sometimes I've had information from the sideline of the manager, a little code word being shouted out, just so everyone knows next person, when you can, you go down and just waste a little bit of time so we can make some reinforcements, make some change and adjust.
I'm always slightly reticent to accuse too fast. The lad at Aldershot the other month, that looked like he'd gone down and was wasting time, and of course he'd broken his leg in 2 points.
Wow.
Oh. This one though, I think he's going to be okay. He's certainly breathing, his head's moving, he's definitely alive, but he's in no hurry to stand up. At the end of this, it will be a Braintree corner from the left hand side. Tom Blackwell is in poised position with one foot in front of the other, waiting to take it, but he's having to wait his time. The scores elsewhere then: Barnet 2, Gateshead 0, Boston 1, Sutton United 1, Daggers 1, Maidenhead United 0, Ebbsfleet 2, Altrincham 2 now, FC Halifax 0, Hartlepool 1, FGR 1, Solihull Moors 0, Rochdale 4, Aldershot 0, Tamworth 2, Eastleigh 0, Woking 2, Braintree Town 1, as we know. Yeovil against AFC Fylde is goalless, and it's York 3, Wealdstone 0, and another substitution for Woking.
They say you shouldn't make substitutions at corners when you're defending them. We'll see how this one plays out, shall we, Peter?
Yes. So Shamar Lawson, another recent loanee from Millwall, is the guy coming on. Joining Chinakoli, the defender, is also on loan from Millwall. And finally we can get underway. Everyone's back on their feet. Tom Blackwell in front of the burger van in the corner with a right foot in swinger. The keeper flaps it in. It's loose in the 6-yard box, but second attempt, Woking do get it away. It's off the end of the pitch, though, for another corner from the other side. The keeper needed to punch that, and he didn't. He palmed it, and it didn't go anywhere.
He flapped it. The keeper seems to be a bit flustered there with Tom's wicked delivery, slapped under his bar. And it seems like so much is going on. There's so much pulling and grabbing. The referee's got to keep an eye on here, because I can see a few penalties here.
Tom Blackwell from the right-hand side this time. More power on that one. This time it is a proper punch. Judge on the edge of the area. First time volley. Whacks it out to the right-hand side to Blackwell, who hits it back into the 6-yard box but is offside. Just to take you through that again. Corner into the area. Punched out. First time volley from Alan Judge that was so bad that it went 40 feet in the air and dropped down, still in touch, out by the corner flag, where the corner taker Blackwell was still there, who first time volleyed it into the 6-yard box from an angle, but was offside.
Unfortunate, because Alan Judge is a man that's played many games at the highest level, scored some beautiful goals, some volleys from outside the box, and his eyes would have lit up as that's falling to him in the edge of the D, just outside the box. He just couldn't get his angles correct.
You can see him still in the middle of the field, exchanging shouts with Carl Duguid on the sideline on this near side. They're still trying to think this through. I get the feeling there's more little changes that they're trying to do here. Of course, we've got Annesley back in the back now. We've got watch yourself, Tariq Hines, who's just stopped Aidan Francis Clark getting the ball. Hines is on the yellow already, but the referee allows that to continue. And Braintree take their free kick quickly from the right hand side. Francis Clark squares it to Annesley on the left. Now, can they find a little bit more space down there? Little 1-2 with Clampin. He's got a cross in towards the near side of the 6-yard box. That's cleared back out only as far as Clampin, though. Gets another cross in from the left hand side. That's very tight. Akinde heads just wide. Oh, he leans over and thumps the ground in frustration. Just a little bit more purchase on the forehead, and the keeper would have had no chance there. It was a glancing header and just not quite enough on it.
That's the chance John usually puts away in his sleep. That is if you ever seen a John Akinde goal, he scored that so many times in his career. Ryan Camplin again down that left hand side, beats his man, puts a lovely ball into the back stick, and there just John's header just skims off the wrong side of his head and it goes in.
10 minutes or so to go. There's surely going to be another chance for one of those. The goal kick clearance upfield goes to Walker, who's thumped down on the floor. He shouts at the ref.
I think that was a foul. That was an elbow at the back of his head.
He drops out though for a Woking throw in left hand side with the dreadlocked Tariq Hines, the former Braintree player, takes the throw in down the line to Walker, who tangles with George Langston and just pokes the ball away from him. A little bit naughty, but Langston stands up quick enough and just passes that back to the goalkeeper, who then takes a goal kick very quickly. Braintree are absolutely trying to get everything going as fast as they can here. It's to Jermaine Francis, tries to flick it on to Tom Blackwell, doesn't come off, but Francis battles back and wins it. Little 1-2 and then doesn't quite get it on the end. Cody beats him to it on the edge of the penalty area, clears it back out towards the touchline, but it's going to come back from Ryan Clampin, but Clampin runs into Jamie Andrews, and the rebound actually goes most of the way down the field, where Ini Effiong does his best to do a cartwheel and fall over and pretend that Louis Annesley had taken him over. That was a dark art that didn't come off, and Braintree keep possession. To Clampin again, left hand side, right out by the byline, underneath the scoreboard and in front of the Braintree fans who are along the left hand side of the pitch here in a very narrow open terrace. It's not on the way end. Free kick to Braintree, left hand side. Cheer from those Braintree fans, because that's Lisby that's gone down, and there didn't seem to be much in that.
No, Odesina getting a little bit too handsy with a beautiful diagonal ball from Alan Judge, and it is kind of similar to the angle that Woking scored their second goal from with Harry Buteman, but unfortunately this time it's in Braintree's favour, and Tom Blackwell's over this ball looking to put it in the danger area again.
It's potentially a shot on, but there are too many people too close to the goal. He really has been on fire the last few weeks with his free kicks. Not scoring from them, but they've been impressive free kicks.
Yeah, he's got two options here. He can either flash it across the box, or he can play Judgy on the edge of the box, because he's got quite a bit of space. But Manny looks like he's trying to block Walker on the edge there. Got to get this right.
Judge is the surprise on the edge. He doesn't go for it. To the near post, and that's just slightly not enough height on it. The first header from the first defender can head that one out. But Braintree do hold possession with Lisby on the left-hand side. He's got 2-3 with him. He surely can't get past him. He's got to the byline. And doesn't win a corner. It goes off for a goal kick. He was trying to play it off the shins of the man nearest to him, and it didn't quite come off. Woking just poked that one away. That's another few seconds gone.
I think all he's got to do in that situation is pass it to one of his teammates, and instead he's giving away a corner. But I don't know why he's got given a yellow card.
Absolutely no idea. He was frustrated at the end there. I don't know if he said something or said something to someone, but that is another yellow card into the book. I'll make that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or maybe 6 now. Doesn't feel like there should be that many yellow cards in the game, but
no, it shouldn't.
We're not the ones on the pitch who can hear what the players are saying. Still Braintree trailing 2-1 here. 5 minutes of normal time to go. Long clearance from the keeper downfield, and that's a free kick as Walker goes in. He's got a little speciality as Walker, isn't he, of just go in there and just look as if you've been knocked. Maybe he was then, not sure, but the referee feels there was enough. So free kick for Harry Beautyman.
It's another free kick from Harry. Similar position to when he scored his second goal in.
It is. From right out by the
left. Have to be on the right hand side, be goal side of their players. Let's hope they defend this one better.
Well, you're 9 years old and get goal side is just drummed into you, isn't it? It didn't happen. Ini Effiong is trying his best to stop George Langston being goal side. This one's floated in towards the far post. Keeper comes out and punches. And on the edge of the area, Coley goes in with Alan Judge. Judge goes down. It's a defensive free kick for Braintree, so pressure off for the moment. But that again was a spot on free kick in. The referee has reached for his pocket again.
A little bit of time wasting, petulance there, kicking the ball away from Shamar Lawson there.
Thank you. As players ran back, it was for someone. Good spot. But it does mean that Lennon McClure could just wait a moment and then hoist it high over the halfway line. It drops down into all the players who are in the Woking half now. Akinde is out wide on the left hand side, in towards Lisby on his right foot. Just tried to tee up Blackwell, who's running into the middle. It's intercepted and goes away for another Braintree corner, left hand side. They are really putting the pressure on now.
3 minutes of regulation left. One final push. Let's have a good ball from Tom here. Cause some havoc in that Woking back line.
And it comes, this very, very tight. It's got a little sort of punch on, more of a, I was trying to think how it's little duck shape with your hand to sort of tip that on past the 6-yard box. Goes out of play on the other side of the pitch, the Braintree right, but the wrong side of the corner flag, so it's a throw-in. And George Langston is there to take it. It's another long one. It's got the flick on in the 6-yard box. Akinde at the far post, 2 jump up with him. He's squeezed out to Blackwell. His shot is charged down. It's Lisby with another shot. That is charged down. Long clearance downfield, and with Effiong running onto it, keeper saw that coming a long way out, has passed it into possession of Beautyman. If just for a moment, or rather it was Jamie Andrews who just for a moment thought, I could have a dig at this from 60 or so yards, but closed down. The ball out for now for a Woking throw in left hand side, and again brave decision by the keeper to come all the way up to the halfway line. Probably the right one.
No, the ball came out and it was him and Ini Effiong running towards the ball, and instead of kicking it long, McClure tried to pass it, but Judgy was not on his radar, and unfortunately, luckily for him, it didn't go in.
Tariq Hines plays with the 1-2 and then bobs it over the top, and Effiong has now beaten the offside trap. He's into the left hand side, trying to get it onto his right, onto Hines. Hines just tries to pass it into the back of the net, but instead passes it straight into the ankles of Jermaine Francis, who was back defending just 2 or 3 yards off his own goal line, and he brings the ball back up towards the halfway line. And for a moment, Ini Effiong had just broken through on the left-hand side. No one could touch him. We're into the midfield area now, where it's a free kick to Blackwell, looking to take it quickly to Clampin, to Annesley, all on the halfway line. They're looking for runners. It's hit long left to right. Francis Clark, the right back now, had made a long run up there, but is just outnumbered, and Tariq Hines comes away, is taken down by Okunuwo, who was going to get a yellow card for that one, which was a mile off. Did he need to take one for the team there?
I think he probably did. It's one of them when you're running back, trying to stop an attack. Braintree committed so many forwards, so there's a few too many run let his go. I don't blame Manny for that one.
Yet another yellow, and possibly Manny's first yellow for Braintree. I can't think of him getting another one.
Yeah, I think so. You might be right there.
I don't sound too facetious. Marley's not managed to get a yellow in the last game or two, has he?
No, he's one away from a 3-game ban, so you do well not to get another one.
Easter holidays coming up. I'm joking. It's part of his job, and we love it. He is the enforcer role when he's in that midfield area. Woking are quite happy with this. Lots of discussions going on. Manny, I think, has lost a shin pad, and as we know, you have to have shin pads. What are all the S's? Shorts, shirt, shin pad, shoes. There's a fifth one, isn't there?
You've got to make sure you got them all, really, isn't it? Shin pad, shoes, keys.
Oh, hang on.
7 minutes.
7 minutes of added time. That has suddenly changed the mood around the ground. 7 minutes, beginning now. We've just entered the 90th minute. There are a few half-hearted boos around from the home fans who are quite enjoying a rare win. Remember that they hadn't scored in the 3 games previous to this, had Woking. They hadn't won in their last 6. This would be a very, very useful win for the Surrey side. It would move them up, as it stands, to 18th in the table, only 3 points behind Braintree, remaining in 17th, of course. But the last act will begin with a goal kick from Lewin McClurg, who hits that left-footed down the left tram line, and Alan Judge brings it down. He's under pressure straight away from Lawson, the Millwall Loney substitute. It just falls off his ankles into touch in front of the Braintree fans on that old terrace opposite us, in front of the big orange and white Pride of Essex flag. Throw in taken quickly to Lisby. Lisby's attempted cross is deflected out for another corner for Braintree, the umpteenth in this last 10 minutes.
Yeah, Neil Ardley's pulling his hair out. He understands all these corners. One of them's going to tell sooner or later, and he's on his haunches now, just praying that we don't get another free header into the back of that goal.
Blackwell's left arm up in the air. It's a high up and under. That's quite an easy one for the keeper, who punches away to Okunu, edge of the area. His first time shot is again thwarted. Clipped in again from Blackwell. It's in the near post. It's just a loose ball. No one can quite get it away. Judgy thumps it, and again that goes high and wide and not very handsome, and in fact goes out for a goal kick only a yard or so short of the corner flag, and that means that the keeper can wander at absolutely super slow-mo speed over to get the ball back. John Akinde is going to jog all the way out to the corner of the ground where no one's going to help him to get that ball back and just try and get some hurry back onto this.
Yeah,
the seconds tick away.
Card already, Jaskalainen, so he'd need to hurry up just so the referee doesn't give him a second yellow.
The referee gives him the little wind-up signal, get on with it. The warning is there, in fact, as Jaskalainen is still doing everything at super slow-mo speed, but he knows what he's doing. And finally, he's left-footed, where both keepers are today. Hits that one out towards the left side, but Braintree come flying back in and win a free throw in very quickly. Lisby takes it quickly to Blackwell. He's down towards the right side corner flag, has to turn back. He's under pressure. He's got help from Okunowu just behind him. The two of them contrive to eventually lose possession. No, they don't. Okunowu gets a header back in. Aidan Francis-Clark, the right back, up there with them. It's very, very loose. It's not passing to each other here. It's the ball just bouncing off players and randomly off one, then another. Free kick. No, it's not a free kick. Woking players called for a free kick. They're not going to get one on the edge of their own area. Instead, as the ball bounced away for a throw-in, I think they didn't want that to happen. George Langston throws it long right into the penalty area. It's a header back out towards him. He's going to try and just hold off the defender and win another throw-in. These are the longest throw-ins I've seen George throw all season. That'd do it. Again, he winds up and it's not near side of the 6-yard box, it's far side of the 6-yard box. Gets a header on from Woking first time. Okonuwu just helps that one on the edge of the area, clips it out to Judge Edgard, the left hand side. He tries to slide the ball in towards the near post. It's intercepted. Yet another corner. We must be in double figures for corners now. Blackwell from the left hand side. We're in the 94th minute here. Braintree trailing Woking 2-1, looking to come back and get that draw in the final seconds. Blackwell again, that left hand in the air. It's a right foot in swinger. This is a low one. It's got the flick on. It's loose. Can Judge turn? No, he can't. Plays it out instead to Francis, just outside the D. Back out to the corner taker, Blackwell on the left hand side. He tries another cross. That again is deflected. Yet another corner. This has got to be some sort of record for corners in added time.
One of them has to go in. Referee, be brave. There's a lot of pulling in there. Make a choice. If it's got to be a penalty, it's got to be a penalty for me. This is what frustrates players most, when the referee sees it and has a word with the player rather than just giving the decision.
He's having a committee meeting with all players who are around the penalty spot. I can tell you that the Braintree keeper is on the centre circle, on the centre spot. Every single other player, other than the corner taker, is in the penalty area, and almost all of them are in the 6-yard box. Flick on from George Langston didn't quite work. Out to Judge, edge of the area. He slides it left to right to the corner of the area to Jermaine Francis, up against Tariq Hines. Okonuwu makes himself available behind, curls across in just beyond Akinde, out towards Blackwell. Blackwell's shot is charged down. Comes back out to Clampin, out to the left hand side. He crosses it in. That is deflected away to the edge of the area. Can Woking finally clear this away? They can. You can hear the cheer as it's hit long, and a potential chance for Lawson to get away with it. He's had to control that slightly awkwardly and go slightly wide to the right hand side, where Okonuwu just levers him off the ball and lets it go out of touch for a goal kick. The referee sprints 50 yards to get in between a conflict that was never going to happen, and now has to sprint all the way back down because Braintree take the goal kick quickly, and they're back into the Woking half. To Blackwell, actually turns backwards into his own half and squares it left to right. Can Jermaine to Francis have a go in down this other half? Francis just made a little bit of a muck-up of going round Walker, but as Walker put his foot in to get the ball, he took the player to free kick to Braintree on the halfway line.
40 seconds left. What we need is some good delivery into the back stick, a header back across, and someone to put it in the back of the net. 30 seconds left. If I'm Steve, I might put Lenny up, get the goalkeeper in there as well.
Steve Pitt yelling at the fourth official just in front of us. Plenty of pushing around on the edge of that area. Blackwell hits it long up towards the edge of the D. Is it too close to the keeper? He punches rather than catches, and it comes out towards the right byline. There is a Woking defender down. Not sure if this is dark arts or whether the head was caught, but we're going to have another stoppage.
You got to add on the time to stoppage time.
Woking players are actually all waving at the bench. This is a head injury. He's moving. This is good to hear, and he's oh, hang on. He's moving and he's up.
He's up.
I got fooled by Woking players waving the physio on as if there was an emergency for a minute there. Yeah. No, they were saying bring him on, because when the physio comes on, it means there can be a longer stoppage, players have to go off, momentum stops.
It's the
and in fact, the physio gets a round of applause from Jamie Andrews. We are in to 97 minutes and 30 seconds here. Surely the referee has to add this one up. The physio is taking as long as possible.
It should be a drop ball. But
we're just coming up towards.
Someone goes down for a head injury and it goes out for a throw, and it should be a drop ball.
Tom Blackwell is making that point to the bench. Carl Duguid is laughing, and that's the sort of laugh that isn't a smile, I'm enjoying this. It's a smile of, this is a ridiculous. Yep. It is coming back for a drop ball in the Woking penalty area.
Well, that's what happens when there's a head injury.
No, hang on.
But Braintree Town had the ball.
The referee is now surrounded by Braintree players who are all making exactly this point.
They're going to kick the ball back to us. That's what happens now, because they're going to kick the ball back to us. But
I get it. Yeah, they're shoving it. They're shoving about. Yeah, we're in a full brawl. Keeper's in there. George Langston's in there. We've got. It's a football brawl, not a rugby brawl. It's pushing around, people holding necks, pulling shirts and things like that. And Woking are playing this.
This is what we're going back to. We said, Peter, about referees understanding the game. Their players gone down holding their head, knowing that it's going to be a drop ball, back all the way back in the last 10 seconds of the game. So really and truly, the referee should have said, no, do you know what, there's nothing wrong with you, you should just play on.
If you're a Southend United fan, kick-off at Roots Hall against Oldham will be at 5:30. There is full commentary to come on BBC Essex. We'll give you the team news and everything back there as well. The referee gives Jermaine Francis a yellow card, throws the ball back to the keeper, who ignores it, so that's going to be more seconds wasted. Another yellow card for probably George Langston, another yellow card for someone else. This has gone ridiculous in these last few seconds. Still, Braintree are making the point that a drop ball should be a fair fight here, just on the edge of the 6-yard box. Discussions continue.
It's going to be a drop ball for the goalkeeper to kick it all the way back into the half of Braintree, even though Braintree had possession of the ball when their man went down for head injury. A good manipulation of the rules, and that is the dark arts, Peter.
Yeah, there's often that you say you sell stuff to the referee. Hang on, he's given it to the keeper who picks it up.
Because the goalkeeper can pick it up if it's a drop ball. So he doesn't have to kick it.
Thank you for explaining that final bit to me. Thought, what's he doing? He hits it long upfield, and we're back down to Braintree end. We are at the 100th minute here. We'll see how many are added on by the referee. Punted back downfield by Braintree. Akinde and defender both go down. The decision goes defender's way. Big cheers around, and you can feel around us the just release of tension. There is suddenly noise in that stand away to our right hand side. It's not been the loudest crowd here. It's a very polite and lovely place to come, but it's a polite place to come. There's finally singing around. There are Braintree fans jumping up and down just a moment ago behind the ball on that far side. They are frustrated by these last few seconds as well. Woking have managed this last bit of the period out very, very well, and the referee has had to go along with it. And there is the referee's final whistle. He's not added on all the minutes that we think that he should have. We're unhappy in these final few seconds, in these final few minutes, but maybe it was a little bit much, a little bit too little, a little bit too late. They'd let Woking get 2-0 up early on in the second half. It was 1-0 up at half-time. It was a penalty given away. Harry Beautyman with a free kick from the middle of the area caught everybody by surprise. It was slid down the left side of the area. Keeper had to come out very, very quickly and go down at the man's legs, stick him over, and Beautyman converted the penalty. Second half, Braintree rang the changes. They changed formation. They changed who was coming on. Jermaine Francis especially coming on in that central midfield area, but they immediately conceded the second. Again, it was Harry Beautyman, the string puller for Woking, from the left-hand side, a quickly taken free kick. Defence didn't react quick enough and nodded in at the far post. They did get one back, did Braintree, later on. It had a couple of shots on before eventually it was a clamping cross from the left-hand side, and Akinde, Aidan Francis Clark converting at close range. John Akinde had a golden chance of a header which went narrowly wide. It ended with flurries of yellow cards. We've absolutely no idea how many or to whom. But after a frustrating 2 or 3 last minutes, it is handshakes all round. This is a very, very important result for Woking. It lifts them that much further away from the relegation places. Their first win in 7, and to within 3 places of Braintree. As for the Iron, yet again, they do well against the really good sides, but it's the ones just below them that keep dragging them back down towards that dotted line. Jamal Fifield, does that feel like the right result? You're feeling disappointed, frustrated. Which way do we go on this?
I wouldn't say the right result. Definitely disappointment, mainly from the first half, because we probably didn't show the Braintree that we've been showing in recent weeks. The second half was definitely more us. Referee didn't help, but let's not make any excuses. It was a tough one to take. We've had obviously a missing Robbo today. Jermaine Francis obviously coming away from international duty as well, so there's a lot of positives to take from the game. Unfortunately, the points aren't ours today, but we'll regroup and go again.
Alan Judge brought on early in that second half. It's the first time we've seen him brought on for a second half. He actually got his foot on the ball a little bit on what was actually quite a messy game in the first half and into the second half. It's a game, though, where you look at it and think James Vennings would have got his foot on that ball from the opening whistle, wouldn't he? Yeah,
Venno's a big miss, and he's going to miss the rest of the season, and it's unfortunate. But one thing Judgy has done is apply himself since he's come in the building. He's done really well, and today he's shown the quality that he can bring. You know, you can see little flashes of the brilliance that he possesses. It's just a shame we didn't get him on a little bit sooner and get that kind of foothold that we could have got into the game. But credit to Woking, they were the better side today.
On the far side of the field, about 100 or so Braintree fans starting to make their way out, but not before Tom Blackwell, John Akinde and others before them have gone across and gone along the front, as is the tradition with Braintree players, just to slap palms along the front of the fence and say thank you for coming. And I think from the fans' point of view, say thank you for really giving it a go in that last 10 minutes or so. I don't think I've ever seen that many corners in added time in any game before. So it has finished after a brilliant run for Braintree in recent games against the better teams, back to where we sort of started, 17th place in the division, with the teams below stopping them from getting up into that midfield area and into the edge of the playoff contenders, amongst the likes of Southend, who of course kick off in less than half an hour's time against Oldham at Roots Hall. But here from the Kingfield Stadium, from myself, Peter Morris, and from Jamal Fifield, thank you for all your insight this afternoon. It's finished here, Woking 2, Braintree Town 1.
BBC Essex.
Around the Wicket
with Victoria Polly.
Our weekly dedicated cricket show is back. There's highlights and interviews from every Essex game.
Pepper hits this for 6 and goes to 101.
From club to county, we'll bring you the latest cricket news.
I feel like now I'm in a place where I know my game. I can compete with the best players in the world.
And fascinating stories from the Essex cricket scene. Around the Wicket
with Victoria Polly.
Begins Wednesday the 2nd of April from 6 p.m.
BBC Essex.
BBC Essex Sport.
It's Tom Larson-Wright with you on BBC Essex Sport, and we're only halfway through today's programme. Braintree then unable to pick up any points away at Woking. We'll turn our attentions to Southend United at home to Oldham Athletic in just a moment. We'll try and get your reaction as well from the Iron Camp Steve Pitton, a player after they fell to a 2-1 defeat away at Woking.
As a ploy, it's hit towards the left-hand side. Keeper has to come out and take out the player. It's a penalty for Woking. It is Beautyman who will take the penalty, hands on hips. Lennon McClure bounces around as much movement as he can, trying to put off Beautyman. Finally the wiggle, the step up, right footed along the ground. Keeper goes the right way but not quite quick enough, and Woking take the lead. It's Woking 1, Braintree Town 0. And it comes, it's got a flick on and it's in! Beautyman with a curler in towards the far right hand side of the 6-yard box. The Woking players ran in and the Braintree defenders were a yard or so behind. It just needed the deftest of flicks. It's Woking 2, Braintree 0. Ryan Clampton on the ball, left-hand side for Braintree though. Is off down the touchline. He's got to cross into the centre and Braintree have got one back. The referee comes in, blows the whistle. There's a fight in the net. The goalkeeper is trying to hold on to the ball. It is a goal back for Braintree. It's confirmed. Yellow card to the keeper for Woking. It's Woking 2, Braintree 1.
So the Iron managed to get one goal back from Aidan Francis Clark's header. They couldn't find an equaliser though, despite a succession of corners in the closing stage of that one. 7 minutes of added time went on a lot longer than that as well. We'll round up all the other scores in the National League and across the football pyramid before we get to kick-off of Southend United against Oldham Athletic. Blues fans, Iron fans, this is a way to get in touch if you're reacting or if you're looking ahead to the Blues game this evening.
Call 0800 111 40 41. Text 81333 and start your message with the word Essex. BBC Essex Sport.
And we'll try and keep you moving around the county this afternoon as well. Josh Holmes-Bright's got the latest on the roads and rails.
Thank you, Tom. On the M25, the Brook Street roundabout is closed all weekend for roadworks. That means there's no interchange between the A12 and the motorway, as you'd expect with something like that. There are delays to avoid. In Colchester, an accident near the Crown Pub means that Old Ipswich Road is closed going southbound. Traffic is coping for now, but avoid that if you can. And in Epping as well, there's the usual traffic. 15-minute delays on Wood Ridden Hill this afternoon. And if you're going to or coming from London, be aware there there are delays on the Central Line. Those are between White City and West Ruislip and between Leytonstone and Epping. Anything you spot, give me a call, 0800 111 40 41. You're up to date on BBC Essex.
Tom Larson writes.
BBC Essex Sport.
Thank you, Josh. It's 9 minutes past 5 on BBC Essex Sport. So we've had one game finished at Braintree Town, failing to pick up any points. A 2-1 defeat up at Woking. Southend United up next at 5:30. Then Blues fans, how are you feeling going into that game at home to Oldham Athletic? As it stands, looking at the table after this afternoon's results, the Blues are starting this evening's match in 10th, but still 4 points off the playoff places, with Gateshead in 7th now after this afternoon's 3 o'clock kickoff. All those games finished now. We'll run through those scores in just a moment. Let's get off to Roots Hall, though. Our commentator Warren Muggleton has been getting the team news for this match from the Blues head coach, Kevin Mayer.
Kevin, what a great afternoon for some football. Southend against Oldham, how are you feeling ahead of this one?
Looking forward to it, as you say. Lovely evening for football, and two big teams, hopefully going at it, and looking forward to come out the right side of the result.
What's your starting 11 for this one?
Nick Hayes, Gus Scott-Morris, Harry Taylor, Ben Goodliff, Joe Gubbins, Noor Hassin, James Morton, Keenan Forson, Corley Bond, Tom Hopper and Leon Chambers.
So on my count, an unchanged team then from the team that went to Boston?
Yeah, one or two bumps and bruises, but listen, go and put 45 minutes of the second half right today.
Definitely, as you say, a big occasion, over 8,000 fans expected here. I suppose they'll play a big role this evening.
Yeah, absolutely. When the fans are behind us and making it a hostile place for the opposition, it makes it very difficult for them. So looking to get them behind us, of course, and if we can start well, then I know they'll come with us.
Brilliant. Best of luck.
Cheers. Thank you.
That's the Blues head coach Kevin Mayer giving the team news then to Warren Muggleton, our commentator for today, alongside the Blues former player and manager Paul Clark. Let's bring in the team at Roots Hall then, Warren and Paul. So unchanged, despite a 3-0 loss. So is that Kevin Mayer is showing belief in the team he's picked in recent weeks, or is that he's got no other options that he feels he can put out there?
It's a bit of both. I think, like you say, on the injury bench, you've still got James Golding. He had a groin injury going into the game against Boston. That's why he missed a trip there, and he's here today at Roots Hall, but he's not featuring in the squad, not on the bench either. I say the bench is also unchanged for Southend. Actually, the only change is Charlie Kendall comes out, with Jack Bridge coming back in following the birth of his baby boy in the week. So I think it's a bit of a combination, Tom. I think Kevin would like to believe that what he's seen from his team with this 4-3-3 formation, one of the many different formations we've seen, does have something to offer, but at the same time there are also injury limitations to that, and I know that Paul Clark will give a contrast. Well, we've spoken before this, and he's not a fan of 4-3-3.
No, listen, I don't mind what system they play as long as they all know what they're doing in it. I just think with the way that they're lining up at the moment, Gus Scott-Morris obviously is in the side at the moment predominantly for his goal scoring, and thank goodness he is, and he does it remarkably well, but consequently he don't do a lot of defending, and he's not being asked to. And in previous weeks that was absolutely fine, because you've got 3 centre halves and Harry Taylor was doing a great job filling that hole in behind him. Now they've switched it to a back 4. That's a big area for Harry Taylor to cover, and I don't think it's any coincidence that over the last couple of games Harry's looked a little bit more stretched and off his game, because he's been Mr. Consistent up till then. When it comes to the changes, I slightly disagree with you, Warren. I just don't think he's got many changes that he can make.